should be played at high volume, preferably in a residential area. This should be played. This should be played at high volume, preferably in a residential area.
Due to some violent content, parental discretion is advised.
Shalom, salama, siyemi, shalom, family abroad. Definitely appreciate y'all tuning on in. It's your man Rawls T, aka RedLetter Rap. And man, can't wait to get in these scriptures. I want to apologize to y'all. I didn't even let y'all know what happened on Thursday. I was just going through some things. And I want to say all praise and thanks to the Most High Yah for the help in which He provided through Sister Yazarette for some emotional and career support as far as some of the things that's going on the sidelines in my personal life that prevented me from going live on Thursday. I guess to fill y'all in a little bit, I'm only going to go in a little bit. It's just some personal things with my mom. And I was way too stressed, family. Way too stressed. Even I know my own limits. You know, and that's why I didn't go live. I had too much on my mind, and I wasn't going to be able to read nor dialogue with y'all properly with having all that stuff on my mind. So I knew my own limit to where I could be emotionally compromised with the mission and ministry at hand and those things in my personal life. So I want to say I missed y'all. You know what I'm saying? We all did, you know, definitely. Shalom to you always, Lynn Bernard. But yeah, family, go ahead and jump on in and say what's happening. I want to keep y'all.
Shalom, family, and thank you, Ross, for being here with us today. We just keep you up in our prayers each and every day.
Shalom, family. It's nice to be here. Thank you, Ross, for such kind words.
Shalom, brother. Shalom, man. We thank you for being here, brother. You know, everybody has their turn, you know what I mean? They go through their little stuff, you know what I mean? But just know that all three of us, everybody, you know, that supports you is right behind you, you know what I mean? And I'm just I'm ready to get into this word, man. Shalom, family.
No doubt. I appreciate every last one of y'all here on the panel and everybody out there tuning in. Shalom to you always. Shabbat shalom to you always, Miss B. Essential Growth. Like I said, Lynn Bernard. Everybody here on the panel, definitely. Let me go ahead and turn down my phone. Little notifications in the background and such. Let's see here. Trying to get those things. All right, there we go. All right, so real quick, let's go ahead if we can. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. I know we want to get on into the scriptures, but I would definitely want to go ahead and pray us on in, especially with some of the things I just got to mention. So if you can and you will, please bow your heads with us so that way we can pray on in for tonight's episode and tonight's reading. All right. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for the blessings you've given us and the blessings that you will give. Most importantly, thank you for the love that you gave us to save us. Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you for being there in my time of need as always. You've never failed me. You never have and you never will. It's only me that went astray those years ago. Father, before we get too far in, I want to always ask that, and in the reading of your word, that we receive understanding. And I pray we come across something tonight in your scriptures that pertains to a word that I'm probably going to need and somebody else out there is going to need, definitely, and especially in my time right now. I pray that you take care of my mother, keep her safe from everything that's going on around her. I pray that those of us in the background that are trying to do what we can to help her can help her effectively. And also help that through this, it helps bring me and my brother back together. Dear Heavenly Father, I ask that while reading and understanding, I pray that I can keep these things together and war against anything that happens to try to come to my mind to keep those things fresh in my mind to where it is a distraction. And in Yahushua's holy name we pray. Amen.
Hallelujah.
Wow, yeah. All right.
Hallelujah.
All right. So when we last left off, I want to kind of recap a little bit. Let me go ahead and share screen with y'all. Let's go ahead and get our scriptures pulled up. And we are in chapter 34 of Jubilees. But as a recap of what we just got done seeing, ooh, we family, like, ooh, we. Like, we had got to see a lot of things transpired last time around. And our last chapter, highlighted Reuben a whole lot. And one of the commandments of not laying with any of your father's women, whether it be a concubine or his wife, regardless. And we also saw how the language right here about Reuben very much mirrored that of Ham. The language right here is, even though it says, and Jacob was exceedingly wroth with Reuben because he had lain with Bilhah, because he had uncovered his father's skirt or removed his father's couch or removed his father's bed. The language is very, very similar. And we had talked about that, for a little bit, as far as like, wow, that's a little different how that reads. But it had highlighted a lot of different things about this decree, this law, and to not think that just because at this very moment that Reuben didn't have a judgment coming to him, that he got away with it scot-free. All right, we started dialoguing about that pretty good, pretty decently. And also, let's see here, back up. We got to see here. We got to see the importance or the highlighting of Levi and Yehuda. That the right here in Jubilees 32, Levi is made the priest of the Most High Yahuwah. And it highlighted the fact that we need a priestly class or a priestly tribe to not only read the word, interpret the word, and also, pray diligently to be like the intercessors for the nation. Now, we do know that, Yahushua is our intercessor, ultimately. Let's not get that twisted for one moment. We know that our Savior is the Son of the Most High Yah, which is the Most High Yah himself in a different form. So we know that the Father became the Son to show us the Father and the Father's ways. Came through his Son to show us the Father and to bring us back to the Father. So if we love him, we will love his commandments and honor his commandments, those things. So I don't want to get too far off from that, but then also showing and highlighting Yehuda being the royal class or the royal tribe of Yasharel. So we get two different things very much highlighted in the book of Jubilees when it comes to the time in which Jacob had presented Yehuda and Levi to their father Yishak or Isaac. And so let's see here. Let's go back on up a little bit more. Some other things in the recap. This here is kind of just oh yes, right here. Glad this was right here. All right. And so when Jacob, when they came and settled at another spot, he commanded everybody, a part of his household, whether they be his servants or whatever, no matter who it is, another commandment or an understanding that helps us all. And it says, saying, purify yourselves and change your garments, and let us arise and go up to Bethel, where I have vowed a vow to him on the day when I fled from the face of Esau my brother, because he has been with me and brought me into this land in shalom, and put away the strange Elohim that are among you. This is part of purifying yourselves, to recognize what does not belong on you or in you. All right. And they gave up the strange Elohim, that which was in their ears and which was on their necks, and the idols which Rachel stole from Laban, her father. So all these strange little garments or trinkets and things like that, exalting themselves, making themselves look more than what they should, all these different appearances to the eyes. You know what I'm saying? I guess another way I can explain a little bit to you in like a modern sense, family, is when I first started waking up, I used to I had received this crucifix from my nephew that he had given to my son, my youngest son. And so after my youngest son was, going through his little destructive moments, he would break it all the time and I would fix it. And then eventually I'd just go ahead and keep it myself. Well, I started wearing it all the time to work and everything. And the Most High kept snatching it off my neck, kept snatching the cross off the chain. And I kept fixing it, putting it back on, fixing it, putting it back on, fixing it, and putting it back on. And the Most High was trying to tell me all this symbology that I keep trying to wear around my neck. It's not on you, son. It's in you. You don't have to declare with a big old sign on your chest saying, I'm a believer, I'm a believer. The fruit is in your works. This greatness that you're putting on top of you, it is not in you because it's yours. It is in you because I put it in you. So it's in you, not on you. And I gave it to you for you to freely give, to show the fruit of your works, that you believe, that you walk in faith, that you're my child. You don't have to walk around with a posted disclaimer saying you're my child. Show it. It's in your actions, son. Just show it. You don't have to declare it. Just show it. You know what I'm saying? And it's not saying that we shouldn't declare it. I'm not trying. Don't get that twisted. But with the billboard of this little cross that really didn't belong on me to begin with. These idols, these signs and symbols, these different little trinkets and things. You know what I'm saying? So that's something real deep inside that word right there. We might have missed if we just read it for face value. So, all these different things we try to aspire to have, and all jewelry and gaudiness or whatever, all this jewelry, extra stuff. We don't need all that extra. You know what I'm saying? It's in you, family. It's not something you put on you to exalt yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I hope that sinks in and you got that. Let me go ahead and come back to our page. Go ahead.
Hey, brother, it's crazy. I didn't want to interrupt you, but yo, it was like the same stuff was happening to me. I had a little rosary, like like a Catholic rosary. You know what I'm talking about? Like the little praying stuff that they had. I think they wear it around their hands. But I don't know how that became like a style, kind of like in Louisiana. I don't know what it was, with people wearing rosaries around their neck. And I had one before my awakening. I had one that I used to. I had that, and I had a little. It was like a little bead. You know what I'm saying? Like a little wrist bead, and it had the 10 Commandments on it and stuff like that. And but it had a cross on it too. And it seemed like every time I would find myself buying a new one. And it was like he was just pulling it off my neck. Like, seriously, I was like, I wanted to jump through the screen when you said that. Like, I wanted to jump through the screen. I'm like, yo, I had the same type of thing. And then when I came to my awakening, I kind of was like, oh, that like I couldn't understand it, you know what I mean? And to this day, you know what I'm saying, I got a cross on my arm, you know what I mean? Like I was ignorant. I wasn't supposed to have no tattoos, no way. But I have a cross on my arm too. But it's just like he wasn't feeling that. Like he was like, and then like you said though, you made a lot of sense that he didn't want me, you know what I'm saying, showing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, it's in you. You don't need to wear it on you. You know what I mean? Because I used to hold it to a certain importance. I used to get mad when people touch my cross, all kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you, family. And all praise to the Most High Yah for these lessons that we're learning about these things. When the Spirit speaks like that, definitely, man, that's deep. That's deep. I'm glad I ain't the only one that went through something like that. But shalom to you always, Sister Sheila Jackson and Hezekiah. Good to see you, family. Definitely good to see you. Oh yeah. Before I get too far in as well, I got that last episode got flagged and pulled down because I played music and was streaming to what's the name of Coon Book. So I was streaming a couple artists that their music is copyright protected, and so by streaming over the Coon Book, that flagged me. So generally I've played other songs by other artists that I've gotten little copyright things for as well, but they didn't block the video or the stream in a bunch of countries. But that last one got blocked in so many countries. It's ridiculous because of the copyright thing and by streaming it over on the Coon Book. So I want to let y'all know about that. And I'm probably going to I'm trying to go back in and probably cut out some of those little parts just so the ministry message can still stay up. Because there was a lot of good things we talked about last show, and there was a lot of good dialogue, and I hate to have that dialogue lost. You know what I'm saying? So I will try to go back in and just snippet out the music that I played that, they flagged me for. So that way, like I said, the ministry messages in last episode cannot be snatched away from the kingdom, because we need those. All right, so let's go ahead and jump on into Jubilees 34. Yaakov, his sons, and his servants slew the kings of the Amorites. All right, so in the 6th year of this week of his 44th Jubilee, Yaakov sent his sons to pasture their sheep, and his servants with them to the pastures of Shechem. The 7 kings of the Amorites assembled themselves together against them to slay them, hiding themselves under the trees, and to take their cattle as a prey. And Yaakov and Levi and Yehuda and Joseph were in the house with Yishak their father, for his spirit was sorrowful, and they could not leave him. And Benjamin was the youngest, and for this reason remained with his father. And there came the kings of Taphu, the kings of Arisa, and the kings of Saragon, and the kings of Selo, and the kings of Gaas, and or Geez, which I can see that as well. Gaaz or Geez, that I can clearly call that one out myself. And the king of Betharon, and the king of Ma'anasakar, or Manasakar. Ma'anisakar. Let me try one more again, family. And the king of Ma'anisakar. All right, we'll let it go like that. And all those who dwell in these mountains and who dwell in the woods in the land of Canaan. And they announced this to Jacob, saying, Behold, the kings of the Amorites have surrounded your sons and plundered their herds. And he arose from his house, he and his 3 sons, and all the servants of his father, and his own servants. And he went against them with 6,000 men who carried swords. And he slew them in the pastures of Shechem, and pursued those who fled. And he slew them with the edge of the sword. And he saw Arisa and Taphu and Saragon and Selo and Amanisaker and Gaagas. Gagas. Oh wow, look at that. That's odd how they threw that in like that. Gaas or Gagas. Mm-mm-mm. And he recovered his herds and prevailed over them and imposed tribute on them that they should pay him tribute, 5 fruit products of their land. And he built Robel and Tamnatras. What that's a new one for me. So he built Robel and Tamnatras, and he returned in Shalom, and he made Shalom with them, and they became his servants until the day that he and his sons went down into Egypt. So I guess before we go too far, this this scripture right here is skipping over some things that we saw in Jasher, but also is putting up some new names here. So these are here some pretty interesting names for some historical reference to look for, like the geography of these areas. If we can uncover some hidden nation names through some of these names. So if you're taking notes, that is awesome. All right, because once again, I'm still reading some of these things for the first time, absolutely with y'all. But I think when they start going into this part right here, Jasher showed us like the whole fight, everything, all the different nations that they slew and overthrew. And then before this happened here, Jasher showed us that, pretty much after everybody got whooped, they wanted to reassemble again, and they realized, look, let's make peace with them. Now, that was a little bit before this one here, because these Amorites right here, they end up having to put it in real heavy on them for a moment, and then that's when everybody was like, look, they went ahead to reassemble one last time, and one of the wise men, of all their wise men, spoke up and gave a super long speech and reminded them that, look, when you go against them, you are going against their Elohim. So why have you set yourselves up for destruction this day? So I guess that's right up until this point here. And then they made peace with them. So they kind of combined both stories. The part where the sons of Jacob had laid waste to all these different little nations here, but then also the part where they came back one more time, like they was going to fight, and was like, look, there's no use. We might as well just make peace with them, or else we're going to all be destroyed. So it went right into the parts where they went ahead and made peace with them. All right, so let's go right here to 10. And it also highlighted the parts where some of these people, especially what was shown in Jasher, showed that the Shechemites or the Shechemites that they had first taken in Shechem, these people had sojourned with them all the years before, during, and on the way out of Mizraim, aka Egypt. And so that's one of the things that was shown right here. But it says until the day that he and his sons went down into Egypt. But in Jasher, it showed us they sojourned with them all the way through, before, during, and after. All right, so let's go ahead and pick it right back up here at 10. And in the 7th year of this week, he sent Joseph to learn about the welfare of his brothers from the house to the land of Shechem. And he found them in the land of Dothan. And they dealt treacherously with him and formed a plot against him to slay him. But changing their minds, they sold him to the Ishmaelite merchants, and they brought him down into Egypt. And they sold him to Potiphar, the eunuch of Pharaoh, the chief of the cooks, priest of the city of Elu. Now that's some new stuff too, right there. Let's see here. And the sons of Jacob slaughtered the kid and dipped the coat of Joseph in the blood and sent it to Jacob, their father, on the 10th of the 7th month. So we're seeing a little bit new language here about how they sell Joseph into slavery, and also the extent of Potiphar's affliction. See, I didn't know Potiphar was a eunuch, and Potiphar was married, and it's Potiphar's wife that kept coming at Joseph. So that's some strange stuff right there. You know what I'm saying? That, man, that's I don't even know how to even talk about that one. But I think y'all might get it. That just goes to show when, you know, Potiphar's wife, the whole bringing it out that she's the one that snatched on to Joseph. That goes to show why they kept Joseph locked up so long, and that they didn't want this getting out. That even though his Potiphar's wife was guilty of harlotry and adultery coming on to Joseph, they had to keep the pretenses that all was well in their relationship, even though Potiphar is a eunuch.
So I didn't know that either. This is like mind blowing. So
Right.
it explains the whole story. So Potiphar was the cat that Joseph got sold to, right?
Yep.
And his wife kept going after Joseph, right?
Yep.
And so this explains it, because why she was going after him, and then they put him in jail to cover up. Oh, okay, man. Look, I'm learning as we going, bro. I'm learning as we going, bro.
Man, it just jumped out to me. That's why I went ahead and called it out. Now, hold on. I went back to the chat right here. And Lemonard says, but they had kid. You know? So maybe what we don't know is that Potiphar became a eunuch afterwards. Like something happened to him. But obviously the scriptures never told us that he was a eunuch to begin with. At all. They didn't make any mention. Go ahead.
Or maybe this wasn't the first time she had done something like this, and that's why Jacob was treated so harshly.
Ooh.
Good point, sis.
Ooh. Good one. That's a possibility. All right. Wow. All right. So before we get too sidetracked. So we got the gist of the story of what's getting ready to happen to Joseph. So we see where we're at right now. He's just now been sold to Potiphar, which is we now know is a eunuch. He came about somehow, some way. And the sons of Jacob slaughtered a kid and dipped the coat of Joseph in the blood, and sent it to Jacob, their father, on the 10th of the 7th month. And he mourned all that night, for they had brought it to him in the evening. And he became feverish with mourning for his death. And he said, an evil beast has devoured Joseph. And all the members of his house mourned with him that day. And they were grieving and mourning with him all that day. And his sons and daughter rose up to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted for his son. And on that day, Bilhah heard that Joseph had perished, and she died, mourning him. She was living in Kaphratef, Kaphratef. And Dinah also, his daughter, died after Joseph had perished. Now now that's some strangeness right there, because Dinah's the one. No, it wasn't Dinah. No, that was a granddaughter that played the song about Joseph to Jacob. So Misalaki almost said something inaccurate. But this right here is something that we didn't see in Jasher. That Dinah also, his daughter, died after Joseph had perished, or thought he had perished. And there came these 3 mornings upon Israel in 1 month. And they buried Bilhah over against the tomb of Rachel, and Dinah also his daughter they buried there. And he mourned for Joseph 1 year and did not cease. For he said, let me go down to the grave mourning for my son. For this reason it is ordained for the children of Israel that they should afflict themselves on the 10th of the 7th month, on the day that the news which made him weep for Joseph came to Jacob his father, that they should make atonement for themselves thereon with a young goat on the 10th of the 7th month, once a year, for their sins. For they had grieved the afflictions of their father regarding Joseph, his son. That's a new one. That's definitely a new one. And they might have just incorporated this into one of the feast days that we do know about, because it was right around the same time. This will make sense to me. But this is still new to me, so I'd like to cross-reference that, family. All right, so and this day has been ordained that they should grieve thereon for their sins, and for all their transgressions, and for all their errors, so that they might cleanse themselves on that day once a year. So that would be like the Feast of Atonement around this same time. And after Joseph perished, the sons of Jacob took unto themselves wives. The name of Reuben's wife was Ada, and the name of Simeon's wife was Adlabah, a Canaanite. And the name of Levi's wife is Melchah, the daughters of Aram, of the seed of the sons of Terah. The name of Yehudah's wife was Bethuel, a Canaanite, and the name of Issachar's wife, Hezekiah, and the name of Zebulon's wife, Naaman, and the name of Dan's wife, Eglah. The name of Naphtali's wife was Rashu of Mesopotamia, and the name of Gad's wife was Makkah. The name of Asher's wife was Ijonah, and the name of Joseph's wife, Asenath, the Egyptian, and the name of Benjamin's wife is Ajasika. And Simeon repented and took a second wife from Mesopotamia as his brothers. Rebekah commanded Jacob regarding his father Yishak. Some new stuff in here. And in the first year of the first week of the 45th Jubilee, Rebekah called Jacob, her son, and commanded him regarding his father and regarding his brother, that he should honor them all the days of his life. And Jacob said, I will do everything as you have commanded me, for this thing will be honor and greatness to me, and righteousness before Yahuwah, that I should honor them. And you too, mother, know from the time I was born unto this day, all my deeds and all that is in my heart, that I always think good concerning all. And how should I not do this thing which you have commanded me, that I should honor my father and my brother? Tell me, mother, what perversity have you seen in me? And I shall turn away from it, and mercy will be upon me. And she said to him, my son, I have not seen you in all my days any perverse, but only upright deeds. And yet I will tell you the truth, my son. I shall die this year, and I shall not survive this year in my life. For I have seen in a dream the day of my death, that I should not live beyond 155 years. And behold, I have completed all the days of my life which I am to live. And Jacob laughed at the words of his mother, because his mother had said to him that she should die. And she was sitting opposite to him in possession of her strength. And she was not infirm in her strength, for she went in and out and saw, and her teeth were strong. and no ailment had touched her all the days of her life. And Jacob said to her, Blessed am I, mother. If my days approach the days of your life, and my strength remain with me, thus is your strength, and you will not die, for you are jesting idly with me regarding your death. And she went in to Yishak and said to him, One petition I make unto you. Make Esau swear that he will not injure Jacob, nor pursue him with enmity. For you know Esau's thoughts, that they are perverse from his youth, and there is no goodness in him, for he desires after your death to kill him. And you know all that he has done since the day Jacob, his brother, went to Haran until this day, how he has forsaken us with his whole heart, and has done evil to us. Your flocks he has taken to himself, and carried off all your possessions from before your face. Wow, this is some added stuff to the sins of Esau. This is definitely some new stuff added up in here to let us know that man. Anyway, let's keep on going. And when we implored and besought him for what was our own, he did as a man who was taking pity on us. And he is bitter against you because you did bless Jacob, your perfect and upright son. For there is no evil, but only goodness in him. And since he came from Haran until this day, he has not robbed us of aught. For he brings us everything in its season always, and rejoices with all his heart when we take at his hands, and he blesses us, and has not departed from us since he came from Haran until this day. And he remains with us continually at home, honoring us. And Yishak said to her, I too know and see the deeds of Jacob who is with us, how that with all his heart he honors us. But I loved Esau formerly more than Jacob, because he was the firstborn. But now I love Jacob more than Esau, for he has done manifold evil deeds, and there is no righteousness in him. For all his ways are unrighteousness and violence, and there is no righteousness around him. And now my heart is troubled because of his deeds, and neither he nor his seed is to be saved. For they are those who will be destroyed from the earth, and who will be rooted out from under heaven. For he has forsaken Yahuwah, the Almighty of Abraham, and gone after his wives, and after their uncleanness, and after their error, he and his children. And you do bid me make him swear that he will not slay Jacob his brother. Even if he swear, he will not abide by his oath, and he will not do good but evil only. But if he desires to slay Jacob his brother, into Jacob's hand will he be given, and he will not escape from his hands, for he will descend into his hands. And fear you not on account of Jacob, for the guardian of Jacob is great and powerful and honored, and praised more than the guardian of Esau. And Rebekah sent and called Esau, and he came to her. And she said to him, I have a petition, my son, to make to you. And do you promise to do it, my son? And he said, I will do everything that you say to me, and I will not refuse your petition. And she said to him, I ask you that the day I die, you will take me in and bury me near Sarah, your father's mother, and that you and Jacob will love each other, and that neither will desire evil against the other, but mutual love only. And so you will prosper, my sons. And and be honored in the midst of the land, and no enemy will rejoice over you, and you will be a blessing and a mercy in the eyes of all those that love you. And he said, I will do all that you have told me, and I shall bury you on the day you die near Sarah, my father's mother, as you have desired that her bones may be near your bones. And Jacob, my brother also, I shall love above all flesh, for I have not a brother in all the earth but him only. And this is no great merit for me if I love him, for he is my brother, and we were sown together in your body, and came together we forth from your womb. And if I do not love my brother, whom shall I love? And I myself beg you to exhort Jacob concerning me and concerning my sons, for I know that he will assuredly be king over me and my sons. For on the day my father blessed him, he made him the higher and me the lower. And I swear unto you that I shall love him and not desire evil against him all the days of my life, but good only. And he swore unto her regarding all this matter, and she called Jacob before the eyes of Esau, and gave him commandment according to the words which she had spoken to Esau. And he said, I shall do your pleasure. Believe me that no evil will proceed from me or from my sons against Esau, and I shall be first in naught, save in love only. And they ate and drank, she and her sons that night, and she died, 3 Jubilees in 1 week and 1 year old. On that night, and her 2 sons, Esau and Jacob, buried her in the double cave near Sarah, their father's mother. So, family. This right here is pretty deep. And I don't know if everybody's going to get this one. You know what I'm saying? And I know that we've spoken about this a lot here and there. And we know that Esau got it coming. All right. So that's hands down. We all agree. Esau got it coming. But as far as our position as the sons of Jacob, the descendants of Jacob, all right, this is the hard part, is knowing when you're in the presence of a descendant of Esau that is repented. I'll say that again. The hard part is knowing when you're in the presence of a descendant of Esau or a child of Esau that has repented. And they are seeking forgiveness for the iniquities and sins of their forefathers. And then also when you're not, when they're not repented, that's a big difference, and that's a hard task right there. All right. So, but these scriptures are trying to remind us of the love that we're supposed to love each other with, first and foremost, to honor our father and to love our brother as we love ourselves, even with these two that are essentially enemies, straight up. And so the scriptures are like really trying to highlight the love of the Most High Yah right here. But we do also get the warning right up here, because even Yishak right here, he even sees. Yishak said to her, I too know and see the deeds of Jacob who is with us, how that with all his heart he honors us. But I loved Esau formerly more than Jacob. But the rest of, Genesis and, the rest of the so-called canon or the 66 canon does not show us this repentance right here, this correction in Yishak's heart about loving Esau more than Yaakov, and that he had made a correction because he was in error for loving Esau more than Yaakov. But it was because he was the firstborn. But now I love Yaakov more than Esau, for he has done manifold evil deeds, and there is no righteousness in him. For all his ways are unrighteousness and violence, and there is no righteousness around him. So it's very easy for any one of us to call out an evil child of Esau that works unrighteousness and violence, and there's no righteousness in or around them. Very easy to do that. And it's very easy to hold a grudge on those pretenses. But once again, the challenge inside of our spirits is to identify if you happen to be around a child of Esau that has repented, that recognizes, even if they don't even recognize that they're a child of Esau, but they recognize the wickedness of things that they've either done in their past or the sins or iniquities of their forefathers, and they've repented from these things. That's a challenge. That's a challenge, family. I'm not going to sit here and act like, oh, I can pull that off easy, no problem. Psh, I'm just saying that's a challenge we all got to get with. You know what I'm saying? Because this love is what's required here. So I wanted to go ahead and highlight some of that before we went into 36, because it just kind of spoke out to me like, look, we can't get away from the love that we're supposed to have and supposed to carry for one another by loving the Most High with all our heart and soul, first and foremost, and then loving our brothers, we love ourselves. All right, so let's go ahead and jump on into 36. Yishak called his two sons to instruct before he dies. And Joshua was good on this one. I can't wait to see what Jubilees is going to say about this part. So let's go right here. And in the 6th year of this week, Yishak called his two sons, Esau and Yaakov, and they came to him, and he said to them, my sons, I am going to the way of my fathers, to the eternal house where my fathers are. Wherefore bury me near Abraham, my father, in the double cave in the field of Ephron the Hittite, where Abraham purchased a sepulchre to bury in the sepulchre which I digged for myself, there bury me. And this I command you, my sons, that you practice righteousness and uprightness on the earth, so that Yahuwah may bring upon you and all that Yahuwah said that he would do to Abraham and to his seed. And love one another, my sons, your brothers, as a man who loves his own soul. Are here. And love one another, my sons, your brother as a man who loves his own soul, and let each seek in what he may benefit his brother, and act together on the earth, and let them love each other as their own souls. And concerning the questions of idols, I command and admonish you to reject them and hate them and love them not, for they are full of deception for those that worship them and for those that bow down to them. Remember you, my sons, Yahuwah Almighty of Abraham, your father, and how I too worshipped him and served him in righteousness and in joy, that he might multiply you and increase your seed as the stars of heaven. Go ahead and pull you back on there. There you are. All right. So I'll go ahead and rewind a little bit for you. Remember you, my sons, Yahuwah Almighty of Abraham, your father, and how I too worshipped him and served him in righteousness and in joy, that he might multiply you and increase your seed as the stars of heaven in multitude, and establish you on the earth as the plant of righteousness, which will not be rooted out unto all the generations forever. And now I shall make you swear a great oath, for there is no oath which is greater than it, by the name magnificent and honored and great and splendid and wonderful and mighty, which created the heavens and the earth and all things together, that you will fear him and worship him, and that each will love his brother with affection and righteousness, and that neither will desire evil against his brother from henceforth forever, all the days of your life, so that you may prosper in all your deeds, and not be destroyed. And if either of you devises evil against his brother, know that from henceforth everyone that devises evil against his brother shall fall into his hand, and shall be rooted out of the land of the living, and his seed shall be destroyed from under heaven. But on the day of turbulence and execration and indignation and anger, with flaming devouring fire, as he burnt Sodom, so likewise will he burn his land and his city and all that is his, and he shall be blotted out from the book of the discipline of the children of men, and not be recorded in the book of life, but in that which is appointed to destruction, and he shall depart into eternal execration, so that their condemnation may be always renewed in hate and in execration and in wrath and in torment and in indignation and with plagues and in disease forever. I say and testify to you, my sons, according to the judgment which shall come upon the man who wishes to injure his brother. That's deep, family. That right there is just the boldness from Yeshak to say exactly what I just got done saying. But he even put the curses into it. And I testify to you, my sons, according to the judgment which shall come upon the man who wishes to injure his brother. Pops ain't playing. There's a cost that comes with being who we are. We got to know our place. And it's not just that we're going to rule with righteousness. All right. And so, like, I guess one of the, I don't know, I've been saying in this restaurant industry for a long time, trying to instill teamwork in every restaurant that I work in. I tell people it's all about we, not me. And that's the same thing that we're being told right here, just with a whole lot more to it. It's all about we, not me. It's all about us, all of us. But it starts with you. It starts with getting the fat out of your heart, circumcising the sin and the disgust from your heart that prevents you from being who you're supposed to be, family. So we got to address those issues, address the sin and not the skin, and then we can really address what we really need in the kingdom and how we want to have it. But we can't dialogue with one another if you got these little, preconceived notions that prevent dialogue, that prevent healing, that prevent repentance. We can't be the nation we're supposed to be if we can't have a one-on-one with one another. You know what I'm saying? You just get to throwing Molotovs at a bridge you supposed to cross, and you ain't going nowhere. It's gonna take you a long time to build that bridge back if you burn it down. So right here, now in 12. And he divided all his possessions between the two on that day. And he gave the larger portion to him that was the firstborn, and the tower and all that was about it, and all that Abraham possessed at the well of the oath. And he said, this larger portion I will give to the firstborn. And Esau said, I have sold to Jacob and given my birthright to Jacob, to let it be given and I have not a single word to say regarding it, for it is his. Whoa! Let's read that one more time because they didn't say this in Jasher, and they surely won't say this in Genesis. And Esau said, I have sold to Jacob and given my birthright to Jacob. To him let it be given. And I have not a single word to say regarding it, for it is his. And Yishak said, may a blessing rest upon you, my sons, and upon your seed this day, for ye have given me rest, and my heart is not pained concerning the birthright, lest you should work wickedness on account of it. May the Most High Yahuwah bless the man that works righteousness, him and his seed forever. And he ended commanding them and blessing them. And they ate and drank together before him. And he rejoiced because there was one mind between them. And they went forth from him and rested that day and slept. And Yishak slept on his bed that day rejoicing. And he slept the eternal sleep and died 180 years old. He completed 25 weeks and 25 years, or in 5 years, and his two sons, Esau and Jacob, buried him. And Esau went to the land of Edom, to the mountains of Seir, and dwelt there. And Jacob dwelt in the mountains of Hebron, in the tower of the land of the sojournings of his father Abraham. And he worshipped Yahuwah with all his heart, and according to the visible commands, according as he had divided the days of his generations. And Leah, his wife, died in the 4th year of the 2nd week of the 45th Jubilee. And he buried her in the double cave near Rebekah, his mother, in the left of the grave of Sarah, his father's mother. And all her sons and his sons came to mourn over Leah, his wife, and with him to comfort him regarding her. For he was lamenting her, for he loved her exceedingly after Rachel, her sister, died. For she was perfect and upright in all her ways, and honored Jacob. And all the days that she lived with him, he did not hear from her mouth a harsh word, for she was gentle and peaceable and upright and honorable. Beautiful woman inside and out. Even though we did see earlier on she had a lazy eye, but her heart was right. Goodness, please forgive me, Father. All right. And he remembered all her deeds which she had done during her life, and he lamented her exceedingly, for he loved her with all his heart and with all his soul. So the sons of Esau make war with Jacob. And on the day that Yishak, their father and the father of Jacob and Esau, died, the sons of Esau heard that Yishak had given the portion of the elder to his younger son Jacob, and they were very angry. And they strove with their father, saying, why has your father given Jacob the portion of the elder and passed over you, although you are the elder and Jacob the younger? And he said to them, because I sold my birthright to Jacob for a small mess of lentils. And on the day my father sent me to hunt and catch and bring him something that he should eat and bless me, he came with guile and brought my father food and drink. And my father blessed him and put me under his hand. And now our father has cursed us to swear, me and him, that we shall not mutually devise evil either against his brother, and that we shall continue in love and in shalom, each with his brother, and not make our ways corrupt. And they said to him, we shall not hearken unto you to make shalom with him, for our strength is greater than his strength, and we are more powerful than he. we shall go against him and slay him and destroy him and his sons. And if you will not go with us, we shall do hurt to you also. That's a new one. That Esau's sons had threatened him. That's a new one. Definitely a new one. And now hearken unto us. Let us send to Aram and Philistia and Moab and Ammon, and let us choose from ourselves chosen men who are ardent for battle, and let us go against him and do battle with him, and let us exterminate him from the earth before he grows strong. And their father said to them, do not go and do not make war with him, lest you fall before him. And they said to him, this too is exactly your mode for action from your youth until this day, and you are putting your neck under his yoke. We shall not hearken to these words. And they sent to Aram and to Adoram, to the friend of their father, and they hired along with them 1,000 fighting men, chosen men of war. And there came to them from Moab and from the children of Ammon those who were hired, 1,000 chosen men, and from Philistia 1,000 chosen men of war, and from Edom and from the Horites 1,000 chosen fighting men, and from the Kittim mighty men of war. And they said to their father, go forth with them and lead them, else we shall slay you. And he was filled with wrath and indignation on seeing that his sons were forcing him to go before them to lead them against Jacob, his brother. But afterward he remembered all the evil which lay hidden in his heart against Jacob, his brother. And he remembered not the oath which he had sworn to his father and to his mother, that he would devise no evil all his days against Jacob, his brother. And notwithstanding all this, Jacob knew not that they were coming against him to battle. And he was mourning for Leah, his wife, until they approached very near to the tower with 4,000 warriors and chosen men of war. And the men of Hebron sent to him, saying, behold, your brother has come against you to fight you, with 4,000 girthed with the sword, and they carry shields and weapons, for they loved Jacob more than Esau. So they told him, for Jacob was a more liberal and merciful man than Esau. But Jacob would not believe until they came very near to the tower. And he closed the gates of the tower, and he stood on the battlements and spoke to his brother Esau and said, noble is the comfort wherewith you have you come to comfort me for my wife who has died. Is this the oath that you did swear to your father and again to your mother before they died? You have broken the oath, and on the moment that you did swear to your father, were you condemned? Okay, and on the moment that you did swear to your father, were you condemned? And then Esau answered and said to him, neither the children of men nor the beasts of the earth have any oath of righteousness, which in swearing they have sworn an oath valid forever. But every day they devise evil one against another, and how each man slay his adversary and foe. And you do hate me and my children forever, and there is no observing the tie of brotherhood with you. That is sad. That's extremely sad that he stooped so low as to say, don't deny it, you hate me and my children forever, and there is no observing the tie of brotherhood with you. That is sad. Hear these words which I declare unto you. If the boar can change its skin and make its bristles as soft as wool, or if it can cause horns to sprout forth on its head like the horns of a stag or of a sheep, then I will observe the tie of brotherhood with you. And if the breasts separated themselves from their mother, for you have not been a brother to me. And if the wolves make shalom with the lambs, so as not to devour or do them violence, and if their hearts are towards them for good, then there shall be shalom in my heart towards you. Essentially, when hell freezes over, I'll be your brother again. When the impossible happens, or the so-called impossible happens, then I'll have peace in my heart with you. And if the lion becomes the friend of the ox and makes shalom with him, and if he is bound under one yoke with him and plows with him, then will I make shalom with you. And as I was reading that, family, the decree earlier on was that Esau was going to break the yoke. These are different analogies where he's sitting here saying all these so-called, I keep saying air quotes, so-called impossible things to happen. This was part of the decree that when Esau would break the yoke from his brother's neck, and then after that, he shall commit a complete sin. And so we also seen in some other scriptures, I'm trying to remember exactly which one it is, if y'all can put that up, where the lion shall lay with the lamb. And that these so-called impossible things were going to happen. Shalom to you always, Lawan from down there in Texas. Good to see you, family. And Tia Yops Thompson, Lynn Bernard, and let's see who else. Auntie Lamira. I just happened to switch back over to see everybody. Make sure I ain't forgetting nobody. Yeah, we pretty well caught up with everybody. But yeah, family, it's odd right here. Esau right here. Esau been wanting to slay Jacob in his heart. It didn't take his kids much pushing him. That's right. That's right. He always wanted to do him dirty. But after all these so-called impossible events, he says, then after these things, then there shall be shalom in my heart towards you. You know, and when the raven becomes white as the Raza, then know that I have loved you and shall make shalom with you. You shall be rooted out, and your sons shall be rooted out, and there shall be no shalom for you. And when Jacob saw that he was so evilly disposed towards him, and with his heart, and with all his sons to slay him, and that he had come springing like the wild boar, which comes upon the spear that pierces and kills it, and recoils not from it. Then he spoke to his own and to his servants that they should attack him and all his companions. So this right here is a different battle, because they're actually talking about Jacob and Esau having words with one another and having a fight. This is a different fight than the G fight that we know that happens later on after Jacob's death. Now, let's go ahead and read into this right here, because they could be mixing some things up that we got in Jasher. All right, so let's go ahead and see what they're saying right here in 38 about Jacob killing Esau, because we know that it was, well, from Jasher, it was one of our cousins that was deaf and dumb, but still had understanding that when Esau and his men wouldn't let the sons of Jacob bury Jacob in that double cave, and he was asking, how come we ain't burying the dead? We're supposed to be burying our dead. What's going on? And one of the kids or somebody told him it was because Esau and Esau wasn't letting him, and he lost it. He just went, you know, I don't know what mode you want to what you want to say, what mode he went into, but he came running like the water boy out of nowhere. I'm sorry. He came running out of nowhere with his sword drawn and took Esau's head. I'm sorry, family. You gotta forgive me, man. I'm trying to make this funny to a degree as we learning. You know what I'm saying? So that wasn't funny to y'all. I apologize. That was funny to me for a second there too. Oh man, I had to crack a joke in there for y'all. All right. So, like I said, the joke wasn't funny, me Salaki. Please forgive me, but I was trying to crack a joke in the midst of this learning. Oh goodness. All right. So anyway, right here. And after that, Yehuda spoke to Yaakov, his father, and said to him, bend your bow, father, and send forth your arrows and cast down the adversary and slay the enemy. And may you have the power, for we shall not slay your brother, for he is such as you, and he is like you. Let us give him this honor. Pretty much saying you got to be the one to take out Esau. We can't take, we're not going to take out your brother for you, but you got to do it. So that's definitely different here in Jubilees than we definitely saw in Jasher, and definitely different than what's in Genesis. All right. Then Yaakov bent his bow and sent forth the arrow and struck Esau, his brother, on his right breast and slew him. And again he sent forth an arrow and struck Adaran, the Armenian, on the left breast, and drove him backward and slew him. And then went forth the sons of Yaakov, they and their servants, dividing themselves into companies on the four sides of the tower. Excuse me. And Yehuda went forth in front. Excuse me again. And Naphtali and Gad with him, and 50 servants with him on the south side of the tower. And they slew all they found before them, and not one individual of them escaped. And Levi and Dan and Asher went forth on the east side of the tower, and 50 men with them. And they slew the fighting men of Moab and Ammon. And Reuben and Issachar and Zebulun went forth on the north side of the tower, and 50 men with them. And they slew the fighting men of the Philistines. And then Simeon and Benjamin, wow, and Enoch. Now this is which is Reuben's son. They sneaking something else up in here that is brand new to me as well. So once again, and Simeon and Benjamin and Enoch, Reuben's son, went forth on the west side of the tower, and 50 men with them. Let me pause this for 1 second, family, because I'm gonna grab my Sefer right quick, and I'm gonna cross-reference this. So I'll be right back. Y'all go ahead and dialogue for a hot second. I'll be right back. Let me swing into my living room.
Okay, so the wife that was trying to be very seductive, where did he get this wife? The eunuch.
That's a very, very good question. Where the with Potiphar, this is a whole new I mean, this Jubilee put a whole new swing on it for Potiphar and that whole story for me.
Mm-hmm. But what
Well,
was
see,
your
what I
question,
was
sis?
wondering, I'm sorry.
What was you saying right there? I had just put my earbuds on right before you
I'm
had.
sorry.
Oh, you
I was
good?
just asking, where did Potiphar get his wife? And I was wondering because, back then, if you were a eunuch, you were, part of the pharaoh or the king's um, personal guard or house. and you looked over all of those women. Remember we saw that in oh gosh, uh, in movies that we see today. That's what the eunuchs' roles were. They were either some type of warrior or even the guards of the harem. That's the word I was looking for. So I'm wondering if from some good task or deed he did, he ended up getting a wife from the harem.
Yeah, that's a good question. He might have. He might have picked her up from the harem. Oh, shalom to you always, Ruhama A. Good to see you, sis. Sure enough. Let's see here.
Shalom, sis. Shalom.
She's laughing about it was a very funny comment, you know. Yeah, back about saying that our cuz came out of nowhere like the water boy, you know what I'm saying? Sword drawn and everything. All right, so I guess right here, even in the Sefer, Jubilees, chapter 38 and verse 8 is reading just like this. Is saying in Simeon or Shimon and Benjamin and Hanak, Reuben's son, went forth on the west side of the tower, and 50 men with them. And they slew of Edom and of the Horim 400 men. So let's see right here. Yeah, the Horim, the Horites, 400 men, stout warriors. So it's not reading too different from what's right here in the Sefer as well. But just by seeing this Enoch right here, or that Hanak or Enoch, yeah, that was different. That threw me off, family. I was like, hold on. That's a new name right there. Like, where'd they get this from? All right. Let's see here. Stout warriors. Let's go ahead and just read it back up here. And Simeon and Benjamin and Enoch, Reuben's son, went forth on the west side of the tower, and 50 men with them. And they slew of Edom and of the Horites 400 men, stout warriors, and 600 fled, and 4 of the sons of Esau fled with them, and left their father lying slain, as he had fallen on the hill which is Adoram. And the sons of Jacob pursued after them to the mountains of Seir, and Jacob buried his brother on the hill which is Adoram, and he returned to his house. And the sons of Jacob pressed hard upon the sons of Esau in the mountains of Seir, and bowed their necks, so that they became servants of the sons of Jacob. And they sent to their fathers to inquire whether they should make shalom with them or slay them. And Jacob sent word to his sons that they should make shalom. And they made shalom with them, and placed the yoke of servitude upon them, so that they paid tribute to Jacob and to his sons always. And they continued to pay tribute to Jacob until the day that he went down into Egypt. And the sons of Edom have not got quit of the yoke of servitude which the 12 sons of Jacob had imposed on them until this day. And these are the kings that reigned in Edom before their reign, and there reigned any king over the children of Israel until this day in the land of Edom. And Bela, the son of Beor, reigned in Edom, and the name of his city was Danabah. And Bela died, and Jobab, the son of Zara of Bozer, reigned in his stead. And Jobab died, and Asham of the land of Teman reigned in his stead. And Asam died, and Adath, the son of Barad, who slew Midian in the field of Moab, reigned in his stead. And the name of his city was Avith. And Adath died, and Solomon, or Salmon, from Amaseka, reigned in his stead. And Solomon, or Salmon, died, and Saul of Rehoboth by the river reigned in his stead. And Saul died, and Baalnan, the son of Akbar, reigned in his stead. And Baalnan, the son of Akbar, died, and Adath reigned in his stead. And the name of his wife was Maatbith, the daughter of Matarat, the daughter of, oh man, why y'all trying to hurt me? All right, so the daughter of Matarat, the daughter of Metabedzeab. Woo, man, yeah, Metabedzeab. These are the kings who reigned in the land of Edom. Or in the Sefer, it would be, these are the dukes, I believe. Let's see here. Now, it does say the kings right here too. But we do know that Esau, they had called their rulers dukes, or their kings dukes, no matter what they're putting right here. We had gotten that teaching plenty of good places. Namely, Thoughts, Camera, Action, B'nai Israel, and I believe we definitely got it from Teyu and Minister Dante as well, and also Pastor Kelly, that let us know about these dukes of Edom and Esau. All right, so right here in 39, the generations of Jacob. And Jacob dwelt in the land of his fathers' sojournings in the land of Canaan. These are the generations of Jacob. And Joseph was 17 years old when they took him down into the land of Egypt. And Potiphar, an eunuch of Pharaoh, the chief cook, bought him. And he set Joseph over all his house, and the blessing of Yahuwah came upon the house of the Egyptian on account of Joseph. And Yahuwah prospered him in all that he did. And the Egyptian committed everything into the hands of Joseph, for he saw that Yahuwah was with him, and that Yahuwah prospered him in all that he did. And Joseph's appearance was comely, and very beautiful was his appearance. And his master's wife lifted up her eyes and saw Joseph, and she loved him and besought him to lie with her. But he did not surrender his soul. And he remembered Yahuwah and the words which Jacob his father used to read from amongst the words of Abraham, that no man should commit fornication with a woman who has a husband, that for him the punishment of death has been ordained in the heavens before the Most High Yahuwah, and the sin will be recorded against him in the eternal books continually before Yahuwah. And Joseph remembered these words and refused to lie with her. And she besought him for a year, but he refused and would not listen. But she embraced him and held him fast in the house in order to force him to lie with her, and closed the doors of the house and beheld him fast. But he left his garment in her hands and broke through the door and fled without from her presence. And the woman saw that he would not lie with her, and she culminated him in the presence of his Adonai, saying, "Your Hebrew servant, whom you love, sought to force me so that he might lie with me. And it came to pass, when I lifted up my voice, that he fled and left his garment in my hands when I held him, and he brake through the door. And the Egyptian saw the garment of Joseph and the broken door, and heard the words of his wife, and cast Joseph into prison, into the place where the prisoners were kept, whom the king imprisoned. And he was there in the prison, and Yahuwah gave Joseph favor in the sight of the chief of the prison guards, and compassion before him. For he saw that Yahuwah was with him, and that Yahuwah made all that he did to prosper. And he committed all things into his hands. And the chief of the prison guards knew of nothing that was with him. For Joseph did everything, and Yahuwah perfected it. And he remained there 2 years. And in those days, Pharaoh, king of Egypt, was wroth against his 2 eunuchs, against the chief butler and against the chief baker. And he put them in the ward in the house of the chief cook, in the prison where Joseph was kept. And they both dreamed a dream, the chief butler and the chief baker, and they told it to Joseph. As he interpreted to them, so it befell them. And Pharaoh restored the chief butler to his office, and the chief baker he slew, as Joseph had interpreted to them. But the chief butler forgot Joseph in the prison, although he had informed him what would befall him, and did not remember to inform Pharaoh how Joseph had told him, for he forgot. But in Jasher, we saw that this was from Yahuwah, that he forgot about Joseph, because Joseph put his trust in this chief butler, that the chief butler would bring him up to Pharaoh and exalt him and get him, brought out of prison early. But Joseph put his trust in man and not in Yahuwah. Therefore, Yahuwah made it so that Joseph would spend more time in that prison so he could trust in the Most High, Yahuwah, and not in man. All right. So, Jubilees 40. This is our last chapter here, family, for the night. Pharaoh dreamed 2 dreams, which we know was one dream just interpreted 2 ways. And in those days, Pharaoh dreamed 2 dreams in one night concerning a famine which was to be in all the land. And he awoke from his sleep and called all the interpreters of dreams that were in Egypt and magicians, and told his 2 dreams, and they were not able to declare them. And then the chief butler remembered Joseph and spoke of him to the king, and he brought him forth from the prison, and he told his 2 dreams before him. And he said before Pharaoh that his 2 dreams were one. And he said to him, 7 years shall come in which there shall be plenty over all the land of Egypt, and after that 7 years of famine, such a famine as has not been in all the land. And now let Pharaoh appoint overseers in all the land of Egypt, and let them store up food in every city throughout the days of the years of plenty. And there will be food for the 7 years of famine, and the land will not perish through the famine, for it will be very severe. And Yahuwah gave Joseph favor and mercy in the eyes of Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said to his servants, we shall not find such a wise and discreet man as this man, for the spirit of Yahuwah is with him. And he appointed him the second in all his kingdom, and gave him authority over all Egypt, and caused him to ride in the second chariot of Pharaoh. And he clothed him with a byssus or byssus garments. That's a new word for me. I never read that one before. And he clothed him with byssus garments, and he put a gold chain upon his neck, and a herald proclaimed before him, El wa Abira, and placed a ring on his hand, and made him ruler over all his house, and magnified him, and said to him, only on the throne shall I be greater than you. And Joseph ruled over all the land of Egypt, and all the princes of Pharaoh, and all his servants, and all who did the king's business loved him. For he walked in uprightness, for he was without pride and arrogance, and he had no respect of persons, and did not accept gifts, but he judged in uprightness all the people of the land. And the land of Egypt was at shalom before Pharaoh because of Joseph, for Yahuwah was with him, and gave him favor and mercy for all his generations before all those who knew him, and those who heard concerning him. And Pharaoh's kingdom was well ordered, and there was no Satan and no evil person therein. And the king called Joseph's name, Sephantiphens. Let me try that one more again. Sephantiphens, and gave Joseph to wife the daughter of Potiphar, the daughter of the priest of Heliopolis, the chief cook. And on the day that Joseph stood before Pharaoh, he was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh. And in that year, Yishak died. And it came to pass, as Joseph had said in the interpretation of his two dreams, according as he had said it, there were 7 years of plenty over all the land of Egypt, and the land of Egypt abundantly produced, one measure producing 1,800 measures. And Joseph gathered food into every city until they were full of corn, and so they could no longer count and measure it for its multitude. So I guess before we jump up and off that right there, everything was essentially the same here, except for just short and sweet about the 7 years of famine, 7 years of feast, and 7 years of famine. But some of these names, family, oh my goodness. And then Heliopolis. I guess if we were to take these names to our brother Blacktastic and to our other brother Zadok, the God Hop MC, to some of these names here, some of these look like some Greek that I just definitely don't know. There's Heliopolis, and this I hear Sephantiphens. Wow, that's man, some of these names. But it's good to see that right here, this here's something very important that I think when we were talking earlier on about not only the decree and the promise to not do evil works against our brother or our neighbor. This right here verse is the highlight answer of this is what happens. This is what happens, family, when you have uprightness and righteousness, but he judged in uprightness all the peoples of the land. When you do things in righteous and order, let's go ahead and start here at verse 8. And Joseph ruled over all the land of Egypt, and all the princes of Pharaoh, and all his servants, and all who did the king's business loved him. For he walked in uprightness, for he was without pride and arrogance, and he had no respect of persons, and did not accept gifts, but he judged in uprightness all the people of the land. And the land of Egypt was at shalom, was at peace before Pharaoh because of Joseph, for Yahuwah was with him and gave him favor and mercy for all his generations before all those who knew him and those who heard concerning him. And Pharaoh's kingdom was well ordered, and there was no Satan and no evil person therein. Those two verses right there, family, no matter how long-winded they may be, this right here is your answer.
That's real deep. That's real deep.
It's yeah. Go ahead, family.
I mean, with everything that we just read, I know everybody probably like, man, Harry's been quiet this time because like I'm really, 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 really learning. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm really learning. Like I'm so tuned in right now, and it just sticks out that you know what I'm saying. Like it says that because of Yosef, you know what I'm saying that basically, you know, Pharaoh's kingdom was well ordered, and there was no Satan, no evil person. It was. I mean, he put you gotta like what I'm trying to get my point across is remember just this is the same Egypt that Abraham had to lie and say that Sarah was his sister because that's how evil the place was. And Joseph comes through, becomes a slave, rises to power, goes to prison, rises to power, and put this place in peace like this. So when we sit there and think about it, you know, as we go on into Exodus, when Joseph dies, this is a big blow to Egypt because all that evil was held up because of, you know what I'm saying, was held up because of Joseph. I mean, from the scripture, what I'm reading here, that there was peace. You know, there was no. They said right here, there's no Satan, no evil person in the. Like that's how peaceful Joseph had it, and is no coincidence that Exodus starts off as the Pharaoh that took over didn't know nothing about Joseph, and the evil starts right after he dies. And it's just like this Jubilee is really like adding in some stuff that I mean is really putting some how I want to put that. It's putting in perspective of what we're reading in Exodus, and it's making it come like alive. You know what I mean? Even all the way up to the point to where I didn't know Potiphar. I don't know how many other people didn't. I didn't know Potiphar was a eunuch. You know,
Right.
it makes no sense. I mean, so now it makes perfect sense why he didn't even, you know what I'm saying? Why he didn't even really, he didn't even, I don't want to say that. He didn't even think twice before throwing Joseph in jail. You know what I mean? Because he was like, man, hey, I mean, like, just think about if, I mean, I don't even want to put myself in that type of, you know what I'm saying, being a eunuch and nothing like that. But I mean, I could just understand the rage that he would get from news of any man trying to sleep with his wife. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
he was just probably like, I don't care, I don't even want to hear the story. You know, like yeah, you out of here. You know what I mean? So I mean, but it puts what I'm saying is it puts everything that we're reading in Exodus right into perspective. You know what I mean? It puts everything that we're reading from Exodus and Genesis into perspective. And I'm so glad that we really opened up this book. What y'all got?
I definitely think that this story demonstrates how no matter what situation we're placed in, the Most High, Yahuwah, goes before us and sets the atmosphere, even with negative situations. Because, yes, Joseph was able to put things in perspective, but it was the Most High who prepared the way for him to do that. And I think it's something for us to keep in mind in our own lives. When we have family members or even ourselves, when we feel like we're in a negative situation, a dangerous situation, we have to take into account that we have been placed in that situation for a greater purpose. And if we have to have faith that the Most High has prepared the way for us and will protect us no matter how negative things appear to be for everyone else, but that we are protected and we are shown favor because we've been placed in position to do something much more greater that we cannot see for right now, but we will see later on.
Amen. Amen. Sister Sharita.
I'm here. You definitely are right that the way has been paid for him because we could think, oh wow, his brothers did that to him, pretended that he was dead, put his father, and he just all these little things that added up to where he was um, before the famine happened. Now, just imagine if his brothers didn't do the things they did to him. What a very different story we'd be telling today. And a lot of us, we get caught up in our sorrows, our pity parties, our sad days, our bad days, and we like to fester, mourn over, cry over our bad day or the bad things that are happening to us. But we don't, and that's only because we can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. As the days go by, we get a little better. Um, and as maybe the months go by, we can finally see the light at the end of the tunnel. And then we have our testimony. But what I've had to learn to do is um praise him through that whole circumstance. I know y'all heard that song. But definitely praise him while I'm going through it because I know out of all the bad stuff that's happened to me, y'all, and I'm still here, still alive, breathing, driving cars, washing dishes, just living life. I know that the light is at the end of the tunnel, even when I can't see it. And we all have to start living um, that way. Because once we realize that, you know, that we were literally built and made for this, it makes everything else that we do from here on out a lot easier. And not to say it's not going to be hard, but like I was saying last week, when we know the end of the story, how can you go wrong? You understand what I'm saying, y'all?
Feel you. Definitely feel you. And I like what you were saying there, about getting through our tough times, and like I was saying to be at the beginning, about and even when I was talking to y'all on the sidelines, or on Thursday when everything was still fresh and going on, I know my own limitations, but I also tell people all the time, like, I grieve differently. And so I'm not, it's not that I'm insensitive. I when I grieve differently, like for my own personal situation that happened on Thursday, I had to get through that as quick as possible. That's how I function. That's how I maintain. That's me. To where it's like, I know good and well I got something I got to take care of tomorrow. The world is going to continue to spin with or without me. But for me to play my part today and tomorrow, whatever is affecting me or afflicting me right now, I got to get through it quick because I can't sulk about it tomorrow. I can't be so fixed on it tomorrow to where it's in the way of what has to be done. So some people, as I'm, getting over things faster than some other folks, it's easy to think that I'm being insensitive about things, but it's no, I'm at grips with reality. Whatever's going on is a mess up situation, and yeah, I hurt. And if I focus on it too much, I'll be consumed with what's personal with my mom and that situation right
Exactly.
there. If I keep dwelling on it, I'll be consumed by it, and it
Yep.
stops being able to give this testimony of getting through it.
Yeah, it'll take you longer to get to the light at the end of the tunnel. A lot of us, especially 10 years ago, I definitely handled stressful situations a lot longer. I was one of those people just lay up in the bed and just, try to just sleep it away. That doesn't help anything. Those problems are still there when I get up. And now I got more problems because I didn't do anything because I was in the bed. It didn't help. It didn't fix anything. So now, I just plow forward. Okay, you whopped me. You might have got me out of breath. You might even made me cry. Um you most certainly made me get down on my knees and pray that God don't put too much on me that I can't bear, to help guide each one of my steps moving through whatever I'm moving through. So so that I can get to the other end, so that I have a testimony. So when I see somebody else that's wallowing in their pity, I can try to help pull them up. Look here. Now look at this. You can do this. Give them some inspiration, because unfortunately, a lot of us, you know, um, that's the only way we can learn is through um, uh, other people's testimony that they could do it. Because a lot of people can't see themselves on the other side of it. But if you can tell them that there is, and show them that there's another side, that there is the other side of whatever they're going through, it seems to help them pull themselves up. Or by proxy, you're pulling them up just because you can wave from the other side.
Um, I think even what you're saying, we look at Joseph, how he was distracted and he was looking onto man, which uh longed his stay in jail or in prison. They didn't use the word jail. And I think it says a lot even in our personal lives when we are focused on the wrong things because we're focused on the natural. The Most High Yah will keep us there longer in that situation until we could be enlightened to the spiritual piece of it, where we get to the point and say, instead of saying, why me? It's more like, Father, what do you want me to see in this? What do you want me to learn in this? Speak to me. What is it that you want me to acknowledge? Not so much why me, why is this happening, but kind of why not? And what do I do from here? What is it that you would like me to learn and do from all this? Um, and
Yep.
it's just a way to expand on who he created us to be and have a closer relationship with him. So if we can just get past looking at the natural and leaning on to the help in the natural, then we can get to where we have to get to. I would say a little bit faster with having his peace upon us, knowing that, okay, there's a reason for all this,
Yes.
you know,
when
it just
when you when
helps.
you can't when you can't see the reason, or when you, maybe even when you don't have enough tests, especially our younger people, when you don't have enough tests in your life um to to hang that understanding on. Yeah, most certainly that's a hard thing. Thinking back to just being a young woman, I just thought, the world was just really out to get me. And then I learned certain stuff, like the story I told y'all about me lying. It's not that I can't lie. Um, I've just been through some real tests in my life that say, you know what? It's really unhealthy for you. And if you do it, I got something for you. I've had to learn those lessons. And, even when I'm tempted to tell a lie, I will just not say nothing because I know that my words have power. And when I use them to try to benefit myself in a lie, it usually it always comes back on me some type of way negatively. So those are the kind of things that I had to learn in my missteps to get me to the point where I am now, where I can just be totally truthful and honest with people about things that are going on, whether big or small, because we love to lie about those little things that we think that are insignificant. But in the bigger picture of things, if someone knows you to be a liar about little things, surely you'll lie about the big things too, right? That's a good sign of a very untrustworthy kind of person. So
Right.
those are the types of things I had to learn then. Now the things that I'm learning are, just a lot bigger things that really leaning on and trusting on the Most High. Boy, if I didn't learn that, or am really starting to learn that here since 2020, I don't know what else there was for me to learn.
Mm-mm-mm. And see, something I wanted to pull up in the background right quick. So this is like some of y'all have seen this shirt, and it's my favorite shirt to wear when I get when my spirit man get to jumping. So I'm just gonna back y'all out for just one hot second, just so I can do this. All right, go ahead and back up. Now, unfortunately, y'all can't really see all of that, but it says everyone. Let me go ahead and pull y'all back in. But I tried to pull it up in the background as like a background pic, but it's like my favorite shirt that I got from my brother. And it says, everyone has a plan till they get punched in the mouth. So yeah, you thought you was slick, but you know what I'm saying, that plan you had, well, obviously it didn't work. Now you got punched in the mouth. So now what you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Like adaptation. How like when it's crunch time, when when life seems to so-called have you up against the ropes. You know what I'm saying? Like now what you gonna do? So and that goes right along with brother Eshawn Burgundy's song Glitchy. During the hook is like tell me what you putting in the air. Prayer. You know what I'm saying? No matter if it's no matter what's going on, good or bad, what you putting in the air. Prayer. So that's the answer right there. To always keep rooted in the Father. Keep your faith in Him. Be still and know that He is Yah. So that's definitely key in all of these things, in all of our life's lessons. You know what I'm saying? When the adversary wants to try getting us all down, beating us all up with all these different things, just trying to get you off kilter and get your flesh to rise, and not have you walking in the spirit. Everybody got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Yeah. Yeah, they folding like lazy boys. All of them. That is a really good example. And that's a perfect example, because that's when our faith is really gonna be tested. What you gonna do when they tell you can't have what you had yesterday unless you do what they tell you? Are you gonna walk in faith, or are you gonna fold like a lazy boy?
All right, and that's why since that was just brought up, and I just really like when you said that, it kind of like clicked. It kind of like clicked to me, because when you said what you gonna do when you can't have what you had yesterday, you know what I mean, until you take this, get this lollipop or something like that, like it really just clicked for me right there. Like, bros, I don't know. Sometimes I don't know if you think you just be running on, but you be hitting some stuff, man, that really, like, you know what I'm saying? And it really, I just thought about it because it kind of goes along with what everybody has just said, you know. In a way, I kind of look at my childhood and I don't see, because I used to I before my awakening, before I really started getting into the Bible, I really used to kind of curse my childhood. And the Most High has been making my childhood make sense. And I'm completely fine with, you know what I'm saying, with nothing, because, you know, he took me through that. I grew up with nothing. You know what I mean? Me and my mama, we laugh about food stamp Christmases. We used to have food stamp Christmases. You know what I mean? like we used to, like, real talk. Like, we used to have food stamp Christmases. Like, she would, you know, she couldn't get everything that we wanted. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, while everybody had bikes and stuff like that in the community, we would have she would wrap up sodas. You know, because, like, you know, when you live with a and you know, y'all know what I'm talking about. When you're in the ghetto environment, what's yours is yours. You put it in the kitchen, it's public now. You know what I mean? So when she would get us these sodas and stuff like that, like it was just so much to have your own case of soda. You know, I would run through mine and it'd probably have a bladder infection or something like that. But you know what I mean? But that was just, you know what I'm saying, those little things, like, you know what I'm saying, when you get your own box of snacks, you know what I'm saying, you know, everybody like the Star Crunch and stuff like that, honey buns.
Man,
you know what I'm saying?
Man, you bringing back some memories for me, like,
right,
just,
you know what I mean?
like, just for going to the store, like,
Right.
you might have been the one at the house that day that got sent to the store for whatever your parents needed, whether it be cigarettes, milk, whatever. Like,
yeah.
And here's you $1, get you a box of Star Crunch.
Yeah.
Like,
So she would
you
wrap, like she would wrap that stuff up, and we'd be so happy. We that was good enough for us, because, you know, me and my little brother, we would take that stuff and, you know, put it underneath our bed, and on the cool, we would literally run through it in about a week or a day. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? We kids, you know what I mean? But that meant so much to us because, see, my mama had a different type of scenario. See, and when we came to our awakening, we laugh about this all the time, because she was like, man, just Christmas just was never going to work out for us, period. Because, see, our Christmas, or when we get the stuff we wanted, was my mama income tax day. You know what I'm saying? we would be balling in February, you know what I mean? But just sitting there thinking about that, it makes me think about all the people that grew up a little bit with too much all the time. You know what I mean? Because, like, what about the people that don't, you know what I'm saying? The people that don't know what it's like to say, hey, I'm gonna eat this peanut butter out the jar here. You know what I mean? Or I'm gonna throw this water in the cereal. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm gonna throw this water with some sugar in the cereal. You know what I mean? Like, those people are gonna be the people that's gonna lose their mind. You see what I'm saying? When they can't
we
use their
talked about
microwave.
that.
You see what I'm saying? When they can't use their microwave, these are gonna people that's gonna be losing their mind. You know what I mean? We used to take the ramen noodles. You know how everybody talking about ramen noodles? Like, ramen noodles was the broke thing. Like that was like, oh, you from the ghetto, you eat ramen noodles or something like that. But ramen noodles, like, if you had it on the stove, you was fancy. We used to break it up like chips. You just leave it in the bag, take the little salt, put it up in there, crush it up, you know what I'm saying, and walk around the neighborhood with it uncooked, eating it like chips, you know what I mean? So I'm like, but you know, you know what I'm talking about. You see what I'm saying? But the people that don't know this stuff, like the people that don't have, you see what I'm saying? The people that don't have those type of experiences are gonna lose their mind when they say you can't go to Walmart no more.
All right, so you remember the name of the game we fixing to play soon, right? Remember we talked about that? That's what you talking about right now. That's a game that's gonna be coming up real soon.
Right.
And the name of the game is Who Knows How to Struggle.
Right.
Who knows? Look, they already losing their minds, and
Yeah.
we were still struggle. See, I don't know what that's like right there to move around, but from what I understand, we used to think that y'all had it easy, but no, you didn't. You had to constantly remake friends all over and over,
Right.
get moved in and out of this school and out of that school. All the different material, all these things. Yeah, y'all had it rough too. Even though y'all's income was better, but the family dynamic on the inside of the house, there was all kinds of struggles for y'all that a lot of us just did not. We didn't put two and two together on. But yeah, those days made us warriors, and that's struggling. So like, and so that's why I like calling when you got your ramen going on the stove or whatever, what I'm saying, shoot, I call them happy nappy meals. And especially if you putting extra seasoning up in there, get your extra flavor on right. Like yeah, when I make mine,
Tabasco.
get Tabasco. I got some seasoning called Slap Your Mama seasoning. I got the hot flavor. It's from Louisiana too.
Oh
It's-
yeah.
yeah, I got the regular Slap Your Mama seasoning and the Slap Your Mama hot seasoning. I put that up in there, let my noodles boil with that going up in, cooking that in. And then I'll add in some Italian seasoning after it's done, along with my whatever flavor, my chicken seasoning, and then maybe some chipotle roasted garlic up in there. But if I go ahead and really go ahead and get it in with the chips and the cheese and all the extra stuff, that's the Happy Nappy Meal Deluxe right there, boy.
Hey, but look and see, we used to do some stuff, man. We used to just take it sometime when we just on a run, on a go, just take it in a pack and we open up the little seasoning that come with it and drop it in there and then break it up because it's a block. You break the block up into little bitty pieces and then we shake it up and roll. And then when you got a little when you got a little something, you see, my stepfather, he spent a lot of time in prison, so he used to be coming home and doing some stuff that what I'm saying, that he be showing us. We me and my little brother about 9, 8 years old. He slapping peanut butter on a honey bun. You know what I'm saying? We know how to make it work. You know what I'm saying? He making the what we call a brick now. They call it a brick. He used to call it a wrap. You know what I mean? And he'll take some noodles. He'll take some noodles, break up the noodles, take a bag of chips. You know what I'm saying? Break up the bag of chips in the noodles, and then wrap it up and really make and this brick, this is a prison meal, but this thing will get you full. But you see what I'm saying? It's like that's the stuff people used to laugh at us when we used to come, and people used to see us carrying one of those prison wraps or see us put peanut butter on a honey bun there, be like, oh, they go them project churn, they go them slum churn, you know what I'm saying, walking with no shoes on. But now in this vital time, those survival skills are going to be very, very necessary, because what you gonna do when you can't turn on that microwave? You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, they just stick a hot pocket in there, some piece of rolls, and call, you know what I'm saying? What you gonna do when you can't do that? You know what I'm saying? Or who really know how to take one of them tortilla pieces? Man, I remember we ate one of them frozen one time. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm talking about, them Tortino's pieces? Ate one of them frozen one time. You know what I'm saying? It was hot outside in Louisiana, man. We sat it outside on that concrete, because that you could ball some eggs on that concrete. You could fry some eggs on that concrete in the summertime. We set that thing out there for a little minute with some fall paper, came back out. You know what I'm saying? But these are the things that people used to laugh at us about, but this is the exact thing that you going. I mean, because I just saw your Cobra post up on the on Facebook on Coon Book earlier, and he put everybody get extra food, get extra water. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I keeps that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I keep the little necessitary stuff. It ain't gonna be nothing expensive or nothing. Then you know what I'm saying? I try not to buy stuff that I know you're gonna need the microwave for. You know what I'm saying? I try to buy stuff that's just gonna be, I could just pull it out. We can make something work with it. You know what I'm saying? Make something shake. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know what y'all talking about. Yeah, somebody say something about some sugar sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
I know about
Yeah.
the sugar sandwich. Oh yeah.
Just
Oh
regular,
yeah.
man. We used to throw
Uh
just sugar on the bread because we didn't have
yeah.
butter, or we would do bread and butter with some sugar on it, or
Or some
bread
syrup
with some
sandwich.
honey or some syrup. Yeah,
Yeah, the
just
syrup sandwich. I
syrup
know about that
sandwiches.
too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we used to get it in with them.
And
You know
then
what I'm saying? Like
and then think
peanut
about that
butter and
Passover.
sugar. Yeah, like you might
Think
go
about
ahead and toast
Passover.
up your bread and slap some peanut butter and some sugar on it. Woo,
Right.
boy.
Just think about what we learned from going back to Passover. That unleavened bread gonna really come
Oh
through.
man,
You know,
it
that's just
sure is.
flour and water.
And
That's
some
gonna
and a
come
couple
through.
seasonings, like
Yeah.
especially depending on what seasonings you put up in there. Like I've been, man, your boy been getting good. Like I've been getting good on making my unleavened bread lately. Like
Right.
man, some onion powder, little garlic powder. This last time around, I threw in a little bit of thyme seasoning up inside there with some salt and pepper. I'm telling you, that was so on point. Like, oh my goodness. Like I've been wanting to experiment throwing some other seasons up in there, but like me and Yaz was talking on the side, like now I'm trying to keep it, as biblically correct as possible without disrespecting the bread by throwing in seasons that they didn't have. But yeah, I'm see y'all family. I see y'all out here. Yeah, man. Oh man, y'all bringing seasoning is the key. Yeah, man. Like all these bringing back memories of the struggle. The struggle. Go ahead, though, family.
Right. But I just, I give all praise to the Most High for my struggle now. You know what I mean? Because I used to, like, real talk, I really used to curse my struggle. Like when I was going through it coming up, I used to be mad. I used to be mad that, we lived the projects. I used to be mad we lived in the slums. Everywhere we moved, I used to be mad because it was like, and people that may not ever come to Louisiana is not, you go to these big cities and it's just like a whole section of the city is just, ghetto. You know what I'm saying? Louisiana, man, you could have mansions. You could have mansions like right there up the street. You know what I'm saying? And then right there down the street, the projects on the same street. You be riding down Claiborne, and you'll see some nice stuff, and then you keep riding, and then you get to where Baller Blocking was shot at. You know what I mean? Like it's it's like, so you have to picture walking to school and you're looking at these big old mansions, and you just come clean out of here, and you got to go to school with these same folk. You know what I'm saying? That they got everything you ain't got. They got the good bikes and stuff like that. You won't steal a bike. That's how you grew up. You know what I mean? And it's just like, but the things about that is they're like, I wonder about these people that were just so privileged. Like, what are they gonna do when, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, with the microwave go out, dishwasher go out, you know what I'm saying? Like, we this is my, you know what I'm saying? I could truly say to y'all that this is my first home that I've ever had a dishwasher in. You know what I mean? Like, we had company.
Same.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Hand-me-downs too.
Right, Hammond. Come on, mate. Like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? But this is the first house that I ever had a dishwasher in. And I had some company come over, and something was wrong with the dishwasher for the time being. I don't know what was wrong with the dishwasher, but they didn't know how. It was some of my wife's family, but they didn't know how to get down and use the two sinks. You know what I'm talking about? Like, just do the regular thing and pull out the you know what I'm talking about? I mean, when you don't even have that little thing you put the dishes in to dry it, when you have the little, you just set out a towel on the other side and just go from side to side. Like, they didn't even know how to just get it down like that. I was like, you know what I'm saying? I was scratching my head for a minute. I'm like, so y'all just take the dish? You're like, yeah, we just put it in the dishwasher my whole life. And I'm like, older than me though, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, how you don't know how to wash dishes? But there's really people that walk around here that need these necessities. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got people that don't remember. Some of these youngsters don't remember when you didn't have a cell phone and you had to remember everybody's number. Remember when you had to remember you had to remember your mama number,
Or write it all down.
Yeah, you had to remember your mama number. You had to remember your daddy number. You had to remember grandma number. Everybody had to walk around with these numbers in your head. You know what I'm saying? And these cell phones. Remember when all they did was call. You had to put the number in. They ain't really, you know what I'm saying? They wasn't doing all this stuff for you. You know what I
They
mean?
saved 9 numbers. That's all you got. As many digits was on the keypad. That's the only numbers you could save.
Right, exactly. Exactly. So it's like I remember one of my little cousins that went to jail. Now he young. He I think he born in like 2000 or something like that. He went to jail, got his phone call, didn't know who to call. Nobody knew he was in jail because he didn't even know one phone number to call. He called his girlfriend, and his girlfriend had to get in touch with everybody, put everybody on 3-way. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like that was back in the day. That was common knowledge. Look, remember one person phone. Look, when you get your phone call, you need to just remember one person phone number, and they go. You know what I mean? But we used to walk around with these numbers in our head. You know what I'm saying? Even your address. People used to walk around with the address in your head. You know what I'm saying? And me, I had to walk around with 3 or 4 of them because I had to know the address to get to school because I didn't live in that district. You know what I'm saying? I had to remember grandma's address. You know what I'm saying? I had to remember my address, my real address. I had to remember not to tell them my real address. It's just like, you see what I'm saying? It's like y'all, people really gonna lose their mind.
He said not to tell him my real address. I feel you, family, and all these things. I mean, go ahead, sis.
I definitely feel like our experiences are definitely a part of uh bettering us in terms of being who the Most High Yah created us to be. I personally, by the time I was born, my parents were pretty stable financially, so I didn't go through the trials and tribulations that many people have gone through in terms of not having. Um, and so what happened was that as an adult, I spent my money carelessly. Living in at that time I was living in New York City, and New York City is all about, glam and style and who has this and how you look, and was really focused on the things of this world that are here today and gone tomorrow. And during my first storm in my life that led me to have relationship with Yeshua, I found myself unemployed, no family, no friends. Everything was taken away. Everything was stripped from me. Like Job, however, I was not righteous and faithful. I was rebellious against my calling at that time. And when it came time to, think about where was I going to get my next meal, because my finances were depleting, I looked around at all the items that I had purchased over the years, all the jewelry or the clothes, and just thinking about, like, what are you going to do for me now? Like, yeah, I can sell you, but how fast can I sell you in order to make sure that I have food in my stomach? And I just got to really see how careless I was in my spending, how careless I was in my planning. And it really made me change the way I looked at myself, the way that I looked at the world. I also got to see how there were many instances how I could have helped someone else and felt like I didn't have it to help them. But I didn't have it to help them because I was spending money in all the wrong places. So that moment, that long season of not knowing how I was going to pay my bills, how I was going to, if I was going to be homeless, if the repo man was going to come get my car, if how I was going to eat. It was in those moments and looking around that helped change me. I got rid of the cable because I was like, why do I need this? I stopped shopping for things that I didn't need. I just buy what I need at this time, and I'm appreciative of what I have, and I'm able to save and I'm able to help others now. So and then the beautiful thing is, not only do our struggles correct us in areas that we're blinded of, that are not right in the eyes of the Most High, um, but it also it just enlightens our understanding of things. It just makes us better people. And it just makes us, it also helps us focus on what we need to focus on. We have people today that are still talking about going on vacation and traveling, and can't wait to get together to gather and party, and I'm looking around like, you got to be kidding me. You're serious? And when we look at the scripture, Matthew 24, it talks about when Yeshua comes back, people will be gathering like nothing. They will be attending banquets and stuff. So these trials and tribulations, not only do they correct us, but they really help us focus on what is important. I mean, I want to be in order in my appearance, yes, because of the one who I belong to. But at the same time, I know that it's not about my hair and my jewelry and my makeup and my clothes that I'm supposed to be attracting people with. It's supposed to be him who is in me, who is greater than he that is in the world. And so, I'm so grateful for these experiences, that because of him, that, I've been able to get through, and all of you have been able to get through, because I'm sure that, bread with mayo and sugar, that wasn't appetizing, but guess what? He taught you how to survive, and he got you through it. And we know that we are going to experience famine, and there's going to be times where we're going to be like, my goodness, I'm hungry, but we know that he will supply, even if it's just a little. And with that little, we'll get through it. And that's the greatness of the lessons that he's taught us already. And that's the mercy and grace that he continues to give us with his unfailing love.
Sure enough. I'm going to go ahead and put this in there, see if this here fits in the chat. Oh, I did break it up into, yeah, okay.
Aw, Shauna Shade, you so sweet.
Yeah, this right here. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to interrupt. Yes, absolutely. You said all of that so well. Keeping it out normal with everybody. And I just wanted to go ahead and put down here in the chat as a reminder to go along with all these things. Even though we're talking about all of our struggles and the faith that it takes to get through these struggles, I wanted to put in this answer. I want to go pull this up. The answer to all of this is to be in uprightness and righteousness. And that's what we got about verse 8 and 9 from Joseph, when he took rulership over Egypt, this right here, that this is the answer. This is the key to how we keep the devil out of our business, and keep that manna in our bowl. You know what I'm saying? Keep that bread of life in our bowl. So yeah, family. Oh man, beautiful, 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 beautiful stuff all the way around. Trying to think here. Anything inside the lesson tonight that caught y'all that I didn't bring up? You know what I'm saying? Anything inside these scriptures that we didn't cover?
I was thinking about some stuff while y'all was talking about this, but this went, this dialogue here kind of, most of our dialogue, it goes far, what I'm saying? It goes far off, what I mean? It's not off, but what I mean, it goes far, and we get to breaking it down into different categories. But at first I was thinking about all the way up Rebecca's death. I was going back to Rebecca's death because that was another learning experience for me too, because it showed another side of Rebecca. Because me and my brother had this conversation about Isaac and Rebecca. We had this conversation, me and my little brother over the phone, and we were talking about how how Rebecca was really such a blessing to our forefather Isaac, you know what I mean? And to Yishak, Isaac, you know what I mean? So it and we was talking about, cause see, remember we read in Jasher that he got her when she was 12 years old, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so but he got her through a move of fate that, you know what I'm saying, his daddy told him to go down there, and whichever one come following after the horse or the buggy or something like that, and he had to, and it just so happened to be that 12-year-old. And you know what I'm saying, he got her on that move of fate. And it shows in a way of that one move of fate, how that all really played out. You see what I'm saying? Because this is the death of Rebecca. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we kind of see here that, you know, even in her death, because, you know, in a sense, and it's not just say, I'm not trying to downplay Isaac's faith or anything, you know what I mean? But it seems to when Isaac got older, you know what I'm saying, all he had to do was go on that move of faith, and then he ended up getting Rebecca. But through that move of fate, he ended up getting Rebecca, who was way younger than him. But remember, his eyes start getting dim. So he really needed somebody to take care of him too. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, if they both was getting old together and he would have went through that, that probably would have been a whole totally different kind of situation. You know what I mean? And when I sit there and think about it, Rebecca went out going on that one conversation with the Most High that she kind of had. You know what I mean? Not the one conversation I think she had, but remember the conversation when she asked him, why am I dust? She asked that question and got an answer back like, hey, there's two nations in your womb, and the older is gonna serve the younger. And she went out basically still trying to fix that. You see what I'm saying? She went out basically still trying to fix that, because she was like, nah, we gonna find Esau, make Esau swear. You know what I mean? Because she knew that wasn't over with. You know what I mean? And I kind of took that in a way, like, I was like, wow, like, you know, like, and like me personally, you know what I'm saying? Somebody tell you, my daddy could have told me, hey man, look, you go out there, do this here, you know what I'm saying, and go find a woman. You gonna find a wife, you know what I'm saying? And the one that chased your buggy back, that's gonna be your wife. And take her. Look, man, look, the 12-year-old would have started chasing my buggy. I'd have been like, nah, look, it ain't gonna happen, man. I'm gonna leave you. Look, how much faith did it take for him? You see what I'm saying? How much faith did it take for him to say, hey, this is the Most High's word right here? Like, look, everybody else left. The 12-year-old to follow my buggy. You know what I'm saying? How much faith did it take for him to just go ahead and look, I'm gonna take her, you know what I'm saying, and wait for her to get right and whatnot, and go ahead about it, you know what I'm saying? But that blessed him all the way through, because see, Rebecca was the one said, look, I'm gonna pull Jacob to the side, because you know, Isaac, he really can't see what's really going on right here, but you know, Jacob really need to get that blessing, and I know what the Most High told me, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this goat hair on Jacob and let him go up in there. You know what I mean? But she was, you see what I'm saying? She was the one that had the faith through that whole situation with those two boys, and she went out still trying to fix that. And I was just like, that's kind of what I saw. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just looking at you know what I'm saying? Just looking at her death, what she went out yelling. You know what I mean? Because all of them really, you know what I'm saying? Like Jacob, you know, he gonna bless all his boys. You know what I mean? What else? Abraham, he was, you know, he went out with some stuff, you know what I mean? And it just, she went out with that same command from the Most High, you know what I'm saying? That same situation, You know what I'm saying? She's not talking about, hey, my knee hurt and I'm just gonna go out. You know what I'm saying? Like she not like, no, go find your brother. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to settle this real quick. This is that one situation, and it seems like with that, it's kind of like that with all of us to make it personal. That one situation that you asked the Most High something, and He actually answered you. I bet you still think about that all the way. And I wonder if we just gonna. That. I wonder when your last breath, will you still be thinking about that first situation, or that first conversation, or that first time you got something answered? You know what I mean? And I just thought that was amazing. Like I said, I was just in a learning experience through the whole time, Brother Ross. You do a good job of reading, and it really sticks in your brain when you read it like that.
I appreciate it, family. It's all praise to the Most High Yah for making these words stick out like that and letting the scriptures jump off the page. You know, I've been trying to slow down a little bit in my reading, so that way some of these things can just have a better opportunity to jump out for us. You know, but yeah, you absolutely right. That's that swear and that promise, because what Rebecca had saw between both brothers, and she knew Esau was going to try to kill him as soon as Yushak was dead.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you bringing that up, like, yo, I'm getting ready to die. Yushak, he's on his deathbed. You know what I'm saying? And we ain't going to be able to be around long enough to see this thing come into fruition on making sure it don't happen. We know Esau, he gonna do what he gonna do regardless. He just does whatever he wants. And so we gotta get in between this before it gets out of hand. So by making them swear a promise together to not do evil to their brother, and the beauty of the Most High Yah to make it come back, that same promise to come back in the covenant later down the line.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the first commandment, always and forever, is to love the Most High with all your heart and soul. But the second commandment is to love your neighbor as yourself, which is the same as loving your brother as you love yourself, as you love your own soul. Right. You know, so these commandments are there, and the way they get highlighted in different scriptures is, man, all thanks and praise to the Most High Yah for making the law stand out in so many other scriptures. Anybody else?
But I just think, you know, I'm gonna just go ahead a little farther on, and I'm gonna let everybody talk. I just think, because I just want to say this. I really, like, you know, when we're going through these scriptures, I really kind of look at the characteristics of all, you know what I'm saying, of everybody involved, and I really try to play on, you know what I'm saying, like, or try to point out or try to examine farther into the people that people really not paying attention to. And I think that Rebecca really had a real extra part to play in, you know what I'm saying, even all the way down to this day. You know what I mean? Like, you know, what if Isaac wouldn't have, you know what I'm saying, took on in, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause like she really played that part. The Most High told her that, and she wasn't gonna stop until that was set and done. And you know what I'm saying? And even all the way up to the point she was still trying to fix, because what she was trying to fix was the same. It was all involved in what she got from the Most High. And I think that is just like significant that she just really stuck with what he told him, what he told her. You know what I mean? She wrote it all the way out through, all the way to her deathbed. And I just think that's amazing. I just find that as like a, you know, a real, like Sister Sharita would say, a real good cornerstone.
Absolutely. All right, let's see here. We'll go ahead and see if we got something right here. Little song we can pull up. Go right along. Matter of fact, Yeah, yeah. We was jamming to this a little bit in the background before we came live, and I don't think I played this for everybody last week, but this is the Rock Bar, Guard Your Light.
Vision? What do you know about my vision? Now ask yourself, are you really ready to see that vision?
In times. You can't bring me down. I know who I belong to. Yeah. What? I won't sell my soul. I know my worth. Yeah. Oh, they say misery loves company. Yeah. Show me hate, you won't get none from me. They say misery loves company. You show me hate, you gon' get love from me. These ain't raps, these Hebrew spirituals. I tell them guard your light, they wanna steal your glow. I started this with 60-second videos. Slight work, came up with this in like 5 minutes, bro. I'm thankful for this talent that he's given me. At this point, I can write about anything. No, for real, he give me songs soon as it cross my mind. I hear the beat, connect the dots, and all the bars around. We wrestle not against flesh, guard your mind. These demons see something in you that's hard to find. That's why they talking down. You can't put no fear in me, don't cross the line. I'm a work in progress. No matter what I'm going through, I know who I belong to. Them haters wanna turn your smile into a frown, but never let them bring you down. I know who I belong to. Yeah. I won't sell my soul, I know my worth. Yeah. They say misery loves company. You show me hate, you won't get none from me. No, 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 no. I gotta do better, I got an idea, get some signs and we should set up shop. Word. They need to hear this word on every block. With no fear, we gon' keep going if they tell us stop. Bring affliction, I got on my persecution vest. Hearing well done, faithful servant, that's true success. Faith and works, he'll do the rest. It's now or never, even through trial and error. Said he would never forsake me, and I don't doubt him ever. I pray his mercies are newer as every second passes. He gave us second chances, I can't take your grace for granted. That would be tragic when it's said and done. No matter what I'm going through, I know who I belong to. Finding creative ways to get the youth to listen to songs about biblical laws and our Savior's crucifixion. Enter the kingdom as a child. He gives grace to the humble, but he resists the proud. Never let them bring you down. Yeah. In the days, how you gonna act?
Yo, Darock. Yeah. Yo, your song is on the radio, bro.
What you crying for? What you complain about? Breathe. No, seriously, take a breath. How many people wanna do that? They can't. Walk outside. Some people ain't got freedom. They ain't gonna never see the light of day. You know what I mean? I can't front, I do it too. I need somebody to check me. I need you to edify me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just thankful for being alive. I am so thankful for being alive. Today was a good day. I opened my eyes. Yeah, I woke up today. So many can't say the same. I can't complain. Yeah. I'm thankful for being alive. Yeah. Don't quit, you just hit a bump in the road. You detoured when you thought you had it under control. Whether you winning or losing, you stuck with your soul. Focus on eternity, happiness comes and it goes. Praying you'll see a miracle when they right under your nose. Today you woke up and your heart was beating, and you started breathing. Just for you, they say misery loves company. Yeah, show me hate, you won't get none from me. They say misery loves company. You show me hate, you gon' get love from me. These ain't raps, these Hebrew spirituals. I tell them guard your light, they wanna steal your glow. I started this with 60-second videos. Slight work, came up with this in like 5 minutes, bro. I'm thankful for this talent that he's given me. At this point I can write about anything. No, for real, he give me songs soon as it cross my mind. I hear the beat, connect the dots, and all the bars around. We wrestle not against flesh, guard your mind. These demons see something in you that's hard to find. That's why they talking down. You can't put no fear in me, don't cross the line. I'm a work in progress. No matter.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, good night to you as well, Sister Sheila Jackson. I'm glad that played good for y'all, though, man. I had to turn my phone up because it was like pausing up real bad on my screen, like bad on my screen. Like it was like really messing with me. So I was hoping that it would come clean in for y'all because that's mainly who it was for. That way y'all could get a little bit more of this holy hip hop that y'all never heard before. You know what I'm saying, and hear how the Most High is working through our family members and things like that, giving good spiritual warfare on how to get through things. So I felt that song kind of went good with what we went over tonight, definitely. So other than that, family, I'm gonna go ahead and pray us on out. I don't want to hold y'all too long, and I'm glad that this here was at a good enough time limit to where I think most people should check into this as well. And hopefully they can get a lot of things answered for them. You know, if there's anything that we missed tonight, go ahead and put it inside the chat. Or matter of fact, if y'all got something else about what we went over tonight that we did not talk about in these scriptures, now's a good time to bring that up before we do get up and out of here. At the last call. All right.
I ain't got too much. I ain't got too much, man. I mean, mostly, man. I just sat down and learned from the words that I was reading. You know what I mean? That was being read. I just really just was like a sponge tonight. You know what I mean? It was very. I learned a lot, so much, like literally, like every 2 sentences was something. You know what I mean? And we didn't bring up the Lady Gaga thing because I was like, that was the Gaga. We didn't bring up that. You know what I mean? I thought Sister Sharita was gonna go in on that Gaga.
I didn't touch on it at all, did I?
You didn't touch on it. I thought you was gonna stop him right there.
But I was really hoping to hear more about more. I recognized that it was the Gaga. I was like, Lady Gaga. I just kind of wanted to see, it just made mention. It really didn't go into detail for me what was going on there. It was just kind of like a name drop, and then I didn't catch anything else after that.
Right, but I still wonder if these people know. I think they intentionally do this stuff, though. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
do.
ain't no coinky thing that all this stuff in here. Like, I don't think they just coming up. I don't think Akon just coming up with Akon and Gaga coming up with Gaga. Like, it was the same way. If you looked at it, it's the same way she spelled it. You know what I mean? In the same, like, and I'm talking about like as in capital G-A, and then she drop it down to the lowercase G-A. You know what I mean? I'm like, some of this He-Man, some of this stuff, you know what I mean? They definitely took some of these books out for a reason. That's what I believe.
Yep.
Definitely.
Go ahead, sis.
And maybe I think they're calling on those types of spirits, and and maybe a couple of them just kind of needed a name for their persona, and this is where they came looking for it. I don't know, but I definitely it's getting really eerie how much of the Bible um that we really see playing out in real life. but in this like Twilight Zone type of deal where it's just the opposite of what it should be, but it's named the same thing, but it's taking on some different persona or different, going down some different road you didn't expect it to go down. It is really getting strange the more and more that we read. Oh,
Oh. Yes, indeed.
Right. I
Yes,
definitely agree.
indeed.
I'm just waiting for for Nas X to pop up in the Bible. We're gonna be like, hey, nah, it ain't no Queen can think no more.
Oh my goodness. No, I hear you though, family. I hear you, but nah, that ain't happening.
Right. 'Cause I was trying to be funny, you know what I
I
mean? But,
know, I
yeah,
know. That's why I was like,
I don't think it's stuck. You know what I mean? I don't think it's stuck.
right.
But and I just think that I don't think that everything is so cool. You know what I'm saying? Cool. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's everything is such an accident. You know what I'm saying? I think that you know what I'm saying. The Most High is actually kind of, you know what I'm saying, casting light, you know what I mean? Casting light on all this stuff that's been hidden from us, you know what I mean? Like a lot of this stuff that we be going over, especially when we bring it to what's going on in the world today, you know what I'm saying? We it almost seems like, why haven't we read this? You know what I mean? Like this has been just the same Jubilee that somebody read 10 years ago or read 30 years ago or read 50 years ago. Just the same, you know what I mean? So it's like the same Jasher that we just read, somebody else read that 10 years ago, somebody else read that 50 years ago, you know what I mean? So it's like this stuff has been out, you know what I mean, for a while. And another thing I mean, like, and this is not y'all don't hold Harry to what I'm about to say. I'm not prophesying nothing, and I'm not this is not thus says the Lord. This is Harry saying this, you know what I mean? The more I'm starting to read and put Jubilee and Jasher side by side, the more I'm starting to read it, I'm coming up with the conclusion that they, you know what I'm saying, like, and I'm not pushing this conclusion on nobody. And I'm not saying that this is the conclusion of my thoughts either. But I'm kind of getting at, what if? I'm just bringing up a what if, just as maybe just a throw around topic. You know what I mean? We could kick it around and see how it go. What if they created the Genesis that they put in canon from both of these scriptures? You see what I'm saying? Because it doesn't skip if you put them both together, it doesn't skip over anything. You take them apart and then Jasher skips over. I mean, Jubilee skips over the G fight. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Jubilee skips over the G fight. Jasher, goes into detail about it. None of them miss a part on Adam and Eve, and then one of them said, Cain killed him with a stone, and then the other said that Cain hit him with a garden instrument. You know what I mean? But you see what I'm saying? When you put them together, you basically get Genesis. So I mean, like I said, this is not thus says the Lord. Harry's not saying thus says the Lord that they did this and put it together and came up with Genesis and gave us what we wanted and then took it out, took the good details out and put them into two books. But I'm saying that, is this something that maybe we should look at and be like, hey, because I mean, they run along each other, and you basically get Genesis when you put them both together. But you get a Genesis that with all the detail in it. What y'all think?
Yeah, absolutely. And that just had me thinking. I went to go back and look inside the PDF. We got 10 chapters left. So next time around, we'll probably go ahead and knock out all 10 remaining chapters of Jubilees. And then, well, we got 10 chapters left, but yeah, you're right. You're right. We have gone through it rather quickly. And something I guess I'll go ahead and tease y'all with right quick because, yeah, I'm really wanting to get here for this, family. I'm really, really, really wanting to get into these scriptures here. So hold on, let me back this up a little bit because
Brother, have we picked what we're gonna read next?
oh yeah, I just got yes, yes, I have. Yes, I have, my brother. So let's see here. Um, coming up next after this, I can't help it. And now I keep bugging. Now I'm trying to be careful with doing this. I keep bugging Yakoba. Okay. I love you, brother Yakoba. Please don't be mad at me for doing this and saying this. But I've been bugging Yakoba lately to do first and second Baruch with me. And let's see here. So
We would love to have you, Cole, I think
I
everybody
would
here would
love
have you, Cole.
to have Yakoba on here doing first and second Baruch with me. Definitely. Or
Like I
with
would
us.
like literally y'all like I think you know what I mean like I think that'll be the quietest y'all see me here because I would just be trying to let this brother this brother really I've been following him for 4 years, you know what I mean, and it's not to praise nobody, but the brother really has something when he's dealing with these scripts, you know what I mean, like he really has that, he really has that anointing that comes over him when he's breaking down and doing his research on these scripts, man.
Yeah. And so I went ahead and went in and made PDFs of first and second Baruch from the Sefer. So that's what we got coming up next. And I love my brother so much that I want him to do this with me because we all of if you know Yakoba, and you love Yakoba for his teaching. You know what I'm saying? The way he gets in depth and detail with the teaching. And so I really, really, because a lot of things he's been going over lately in a lot of different studies. I know, sis, can't wait. I know, but I can't promise y'all that I can get him in on this study. But I sent him both these PDFs that I made of first and second Baruch. And so right here, there's just so much. There is so much in first and second Baruch. And something that me and Sister Yaz was going over on the sidelines was the prayer. There's a prayer that in first Baruch, and let's see here. This right here is going to Nebuchadnezzar. Said first Baruch chapter 3, and
1
then
through 8.
1 through 8, right here. So I guess, yes, thank you for reminding on that right there. So we're going to go ahead and read this prayer right quick, family, because here's a little preemptive into hopefully what we have on the way. So I'm gonna go ahead and read first Baruch chapter 3, verses 1 through 8, and hear this prayer, family. Please hear this prayer and let it speak to your soul. O El Shaddai, Elohim of Yasharel, the soul in anguish, the troubled ruach cries unto you, or the troubled spirit cries unto you. Hear, O Yahuwah, and have mercy. You are merciful, and have pity upon us, because we have sinned before you. For you endure forever, and we perish utterly. O El Shaddai, Elohim of Yasharel, hear now the prayers of the dead inhabitants of Yasharel and of their children, which have sinned before you and not hearkened unto the voice of you, their Elohim, for the which has caused plagues to cleave unto us. Remember not the iniquities of our forefathers, but think upon your power and your name now at this time. For you are Yahuwah Elohanu, and you, O Yahuwah, we will praise. For For this cause, you have put your fear in our hearts, to the intent that we should call upon your name and praise you in our captivity. For we have called to mind the iniquity of our forefathers that sinned before you. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where you have scattered us for a reproach and a curse, to be subject to payments according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from Yahuwah Elohanu. There's so much more into this, family, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait to get into first and second Baruch with y'all. Now, I absolutely, once again, I want to do this with Minister Yakoba, and I've been getting prodded in my spirit on the other side that, you know, I put this in you. And I'm like being humble over here, like, but I need some help. Just keeping it normal with your family.
Right. Maybe the chat needs to spam him, man. Spam him. Be like, hey.
I mean, I don't know. Like I said, Yakoba, please don't get upset with me for putting this all out here.
I'm gonna say this. That man, dude is really like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I watched this show earlier, and you know, I've been following Yakoba and Minister Teyu for almost like at least 4 years. And I remember just like, and this was like early when I first got to them, it was like early in my awakening. And I remember saying, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, when you first listen to them, and like, you know what I'm saying? Like I think the first video I heard from them was their end time prophecy. And the end time prophecy video, and they went in, you know, they went in on that one. And I was like, my mind was blown. I was like, hey, when I finished with the video, I was like, man, these dudes are crazy. Like, you know, this ain't going. And they were right on everything they said. And I was like, you know, like today, when we sit there and, you know, I still go back to those videos. You know what I mean? I still go back to those videos from time to time and listen to them. And it's like, wow, like, you know, it's mind blowing, because it's like I hold them like elders. You know, I'm a pretty young guy, but they were in it when I was newly in it. You know what I mean? Like they were all the way in it when I was newly in it. And it's like, you know, like I respect these guys' research. You know what I mean? I respect these guys' research. I respect these guys when they speak on things. And that would be really, 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 really awesome to have them on here. You know what I mean? And I mean, like you said, brother, you need some help. Maybe, you know, I think I'll the next time he has a video, a question and answer or something like that, because they just had one, I think I'll throw that in there. You know what I mean? Throw that in there. You know,
I don't want the brother mad at me.
Because it's like Brother Rouse, like in the sense of that, like I look at them like I really look at you guys. You know what I mean? Like even you know what I mean? Like, you know, when I first met you, you know what I'm saying? Like I look at you guys as like the leaders of the path, like, cause y'all guys, like, that's why in the sense of it, we kind of have to Israel ourselves. We kind of have to, what's the good word for that? We kind of have to protect our people that's tried and through for us. You know what I mean? Because the Most High are actually, you know what I'm saying? You guys were some of the first people that actually, you know what I'm saying, got us on game. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? We had our own little awakening, but you know what I mean? Like, I didn't know you was out here doing music and stuff like that. And when I first got to your page, I was addicted to your page. I think I was, honestly, I think I was like listening to your page on, not saying nothing in the comments for a while. You know what I mean? Just like, but I'm bumping. You know what I mean? It's something to it, and I'm not. It is more to. It's more people. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just on you. I'm not just on Nicole, but I'm on Dante. I'm on these are people that I've been following for years. You know what I mean? Even Sister E, I've been following her for a while. You know what I'm saying? Even before she had her own real platform, when she was just showing up on other people's shows and stuff like that. And I was like, man, she's got something on her that like I need to listen. You know what I mean? The Shine at Large, the same thing. You know what I mean? It's like Karis, you know what I'm saying? same thing. It's like we all like it's some of us that's doing stuff, but it's like like it's so real to where it's like, you know, when y'all come out with a new video, it's like my day go by good. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, I got something to bump for the rest of the day in my headphones. You know what I mean? Like it's such a blessing, and that's all I wanted to say. Just, you know, all praise to the Most High for all our, you know what I'm saying, all our community. You know what I mean? That actually puts material out.
To the Most High.
You know what I mean?
And like, I give credit where credit's due, and you said it. Them brothers been doing it for years, and I just got hip to them within the past 2.5 years while I've been into my full submission, and I got hip to them through Sister E. So shout out Sister E for getting me hip to tell you. I'll tell you when you're Cobra, you know what I'm saying? And I was getting some other folks hip to Thoughts Camera Action when they didn't know who Thoughts Camera Action was, you know. But once again, I give credit where credit's due. All these, like Dante, Tayu, Benaya Israel, and lots of others was doing this way before me, years putting in work, way before I came into any obedience to do this. So I'm just within the last couple months coming into obedience, into reading the scriptures out loud, and also getting through my little hump of not reading enough on my own, because I know I'm not alone. There's plenty of others that, you know, we know that it'd be nice if we could read more, but our busy schedules kind of have us hemmed up a little bit. But I wanted to, something poke me in my spirit a moment ago after reading 1 through 8, and I was getting ready to close this page, and I decided I want to finish reading this. Not all of it. I just want to finish reading till the Spirit just poked me right quick. Say, all right, shut up. You gave him enough. It's all right. So this is what the Spirit's been poking me to finish off reading with y'all. Here, Yasharel, the commandments of life. Give ear to understand wisdom. How happens it, Yasharel, that you are in your enemy's land, that you are waxing old in a strange country, that you are defiled with the dead, that you are counted with them that go down into Sheol? You have forsaken the fountain of wisdom. For if you had walked in the way of Elohim, you should have dwelled in peace forever, dwelled in shalom forever. Learn where is wisdom, where is strength, where is understanding, that you may know also where is length of days and life, where is the light of the eyes and peace. Who has found out her place, or who has come into her treasures? Where are the princes of the heathen become, and such as ruled the beasts upon the earth, that they had their pastime with the fowls of the air? And they had hoarded up silver and gold, wherein men trust, and made no end of their getting. For they that wrought in silver and were so careful, and whose works are unsearchable, they are vanished and gone down into Sheol, and others are come up in their steeds. Young men have seen light and dwelt upon the earth, but the way of knowledge have they not known, nor understood the paths thereof, nor laid hold of it. Their children were far off from that way. It has not been heard of in Canaan, neither has it been seen in Taman. Go and go down here a little bit. The Hagarim that seek wisdom upon earth, the merchants of Moran and of Teman, the authors of fables and searchers out of understanding, none of these have known the way of wisdom or remember her paths. So all these storytellers and all these people that can articulate really, really well and all that, just because they can articulate really, really well, saying right here, none of these have known the way of wisdom or remember her paths. O Yasharel, how great is the house of Elohim, and how large is the place of his possession. Great and has none end, high and unmeasurable. There were the Nephilim, famous from the beginning. that were so great, that were of so great stature and so expert in war, those did not Yahuwah choose, neither gave he the way of knowledge unto them, but they were destroyed because they had no wisdom. They had no wisdom and perished through their own foolishness. Who has gone up into heaven and taken her and brought her down from the clouds? Who has gone over the sea and found her and will bring her for pure gold? No man knows her way nor thinks of her path, but he that knows all things knows her and has found her out with his understanding. He that prepared the earth for evermore has filled it with four-footed beasts. He that sends forth light, and it goes, and calls it again, and it obeys him with fear. The stars shine in their watches and rejoice when he calls them. They say, here we be. And so with cheerfulness they showed light unto comparison of him. He has found out all the way of knowledge and has given it unto Jacob his servant, and to Yasharel his beloved. Afterward did he show himself upon earth and conversed with men. This is the sephira of the commandments of Elohim, in the Torah that endures forever. All they that guard it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die. Turn you, O Jacob, and take hold of it. Walk in the presence of the light thereof, that you may be illuminated. Give not your honor to another, nor the things that are profitable unto you to a strange nation. O Yasharel, happy are we, for things are pleasing to Elohim, are made known unto us. Be of good cheer, my people, the memorial of Yasharel. Ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because ye moved Elohim to wrath. Ye were delivered unto the enemies, for ye provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils, and not unto Elohim. Ye have forgotten the everlasting Elohim that brought you up. Let's see here. Yeah, that brought you up. And ye have grieved Jerusalem that nursed you. For when she saw the wrath of Elohim coming upon you, she said, hearken, O ye that dwell about Sion. Elohim has brought upon me great mourning. For I saw the captivity of my sons and daughters, which the everlasting brought upon them. With joy did I nourish them, but sent them away with weeping and mourning. Let no man rejoice over me, a widow and forsaken of many, who for the sins of my children am left desolate, because they departed from the Torah of Elohim. They knew not his statutes, nor walked in the ways of his commandments, nor trod in the paths of discipline in his righteousness. Let them that dwell about Sion come and remember ye the captivity of my sons and daughters, which the everlasting has brought upon them. For he has brought a nation upon them from afar, a shameless nation, and of a strange language, who neither reverence old man, nor pitied children, or pitied child. These have carried away the dear beloved children of the widow, and have left her that was alone, desolate, without daughters. But what can I help you? For he that brought these plagues upon you will deliver you from the hands of your enemies. And I'll stop right there. So that's just a little snippet of what we're going to get into. Yeah, shout out to Brother Issachar with Four Corners Radio and Elephant Man Podcast Network. Definitely shout out both them brothers right there. And if you are not hip to Issachar yet, please go by Brother Issachar's channel. Do whatever you have to do, whether you have to go back into a couple videos from a couple weeks ago, but go into the community page and be a part of a Zoom meeting with him and his wife, and also get your instructions on downloading the Threema app. So that way you can get hip to what is going on. I'm not going to go into too much detail about it just in case, but all the rest of the information that you really need, family, is on Issachar's channel. And there's a lot of good things going on. And like I said, I don't want to talk too much about it because I don't want to give the enemy any leeway into knowing any daggone thing. So just know this. We working, family. The family is working together on a lot of good things, and you want to get hip. You want to be a part of this. All right. So, and I'm not the one leading it, but regardless, you want to be a part of this. You really, really do. That's right. That's right. Sure enough. So I'm going to play one last song and then go straight into the outro. So does anybody have anything left before we go ahead and get up and out of here?
Shalom, family.
You have to pray.
Oh, yes. Thank you for reminding. All right. Yeah, your microphone's starting to act up again. It's all right, though. It's all through the show. It's been good. And then right now it's starting to act up. All right. So let's go ahead and bow our heads if we can. And if you will with us. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for the blessings you've given us and the blessings that you will give. Most importantly, thank you for the love that you gave us to save us. Dear Heavenly Father, once again, we thank you for being able to read and understand your word and be able to soak in the information, the nourishment, the instruction that is so beautiful that you meant for us to pick up. No matter which scriptures we picking up, we thank you for allowing us to learn from these scriptures that we picked up tonight and allowed us to learn the instruction in which we got tonight. Without you, Father, and without your Holy Spirit, we wouldn't be able to do these things. We'd just be reading words on a page, gaining no instruction nor understanding. And we thank you so much for the understanding which you deliver. Father, we thank you for all the ministries we've spoken up earlier on, that we know we have other good teachers out there. We give all praise and thanks to you for what you've done through these teachers, but to be able to help us. And I guess shameless plug, Father, I'm going to ask that Minister Jacobo don't get upset with me for none of this, and that he joins in on us or joins in with us on this first and second Baruch. And if not, may you, regardless, bless the teaching and bless the learning that comes from it. But I really would love to do this with Minister Jacobo. I told him it wouldn't be right without him. So I don't want to do it without him. I really, really don't. But Father, we thank you for the laughs as well. Also that we get to have, we to try to have during our learning lessons. So that way it's not so strict, but we get a chance to laugh and get some of that good medicine in on us and talk about some of the old things that help to make us strong. And also we thank you, Father, for also reminding us of the game that is going to be coming up soon. They made a movie called Hunger Games, but we know the game is going to be called Who Knows How to Struggle. And that's what you told me to tell them. So who knows how to struggle? That's the name of the game that's coming up soon. And we can only hope and pray that our people are prepared for this game that's going to be coming up, because it's not a game and it ain't going to be fun. None of it's going to be fun, Father. You ain't playing with nobody no more. And so we thank you for giving us this instruction. Thank you for putting the urgency on us to understand these things and to have the urgency in our heart to move righteously. And in Yahushua's holy name we pray. Amen.
Hallelujah. Yeah.
Amen.
Amen.
I just wanted to say this for my last words, man.
Go ahead.
I just want to say, shalom, family. I love all the dialogue in the chat. The chat is always going hard. I learned so much from you guys. Shalom. I love you guys. I just wanted to say, Gaz, Sister Sharita, Brother Ross, and I really learned so much from you guys. Like, I just wanted to say that too. That I just really wanted to say that. Like, I really learned so much through you guys, because y'all know I'm young. So in the sense of it, it's like when I hear you guys talk, I mean, it's up there to me, and I think about that. I always tell y'all that I think about these conversations. It gets me through the week, man. It gets me through the week, man, and it really, really, really does something for me when I hear you guys speak. Y'all speak with so much great knowledge and so and the wisdom. You know what I mean? I really learn from you guys, and it makes me a better person, a better husband, a better parent, and a better person. You know what I mean? I really, 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 really thank you guys just for, just to be a part of this, because I really love this dialogue and everything that we're doing, man. All praise to the Most High, Yah.
Glory to the Most High, Yah.
All praise to the Most High, Yah.
All praise and glory. Yes. Yes. Definitely. All praise to the Most High, Yah, for what he's doing.
He's faithful.
All right. Absolutely. All right, so this song right here is by Jay Luch, which him and Lorvins rolled really, really good and tight together down, I believe it's in Tennessee. I think they from down that way, either that way or Georgia, one of the two. I be so lucky if I gave him the wrong address. But this is called Nation. All right. And Shalom, Salama, Siyimi, Shalom to you always, family abroad. Thank you so much for tuning on in with us. We're going to play this song right here and then go right into the outro video. So please enjoy. Can't wait to see y'all again this week, all right? I believe we'll be right back live again on Tuesday, I believe. And if not, we will definitely be going live again next week before Shabbat and again on Shabbat. But my crazy server schedule is about to pick up because the temperature's starting to warm up and stuff. So they're going to be scheduling me a bunch of doubles soon. So hopefully I'll still have my 2 days off, at least the evening during the week, and then obviously Shabbat. Because I ain't doing no work on Shabbat. They already know it. All right, but here you go, family. Nation by Jay Luch.
What you telling me? Nate line with a melody. The two sit together like a two-stepping rhythm. Arson's a felony. Wait just a minute. We tryna live without seeing. You can see the pattern, see the second atom. That's a true trend. Hold on. Where's your motivation? The dead bones live. Survive in a pestilence. Welcome to the revenant. We begin again. Oh.
A nation that's peculiar. The stiffs come together again. Rising from the dead. Ephraim and Yehuda. The stiffs come together again. We're rising from the dead.
The bounce back game strong. We gon' need the patents, y'all. All of our ventures better get to reinventing. Gentiles really took them all. To y'all be the glory. Torah for Yahshua. Never getting cold with this fire in my bones. The beat should have you moving. Hold on, let me put it in perspective. 400 years, y'all get restless. Time to focus in where the East world ends. Like I'm pleased with perfection.
A nation that's peculiar. The stiffs come together again. We're rising from the dead. Ephraim and Yehuda. The stiffs come together again. We're rising from the dead.
2 steps to the left, then 2 steps to the back. Wait for the Yah, shuffle to the right, then bounce back. 2 steps to the left, then 2 steps to the back. Wait for the Yah, shuffle to the right, then bounce back. 2 steps to the left, then 2 steps to the back. Wait for the yacht, shuffle to the right, then bounce back.
A nation that's peculiar, the steps come together again.